So let's start with the prayer. Gajananam bhuta ganati sevitam kapita jambu falasara bhakshitam umasutam shoka vinashakaranam namami Vigneshwara pada pankajam. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Om Shri Gurave Namaha, Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Trayambagam Yajamage Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshiya Mamrata. So Kisharji, are you ready?
Guruji, Namaha.
Hari Om.
Guruji, Gautam is leading today and I will be assisting him.
Oh, he is doing it. Okay.
Yeah, but Gautam may not be able to share the screen, so I will be sharing the screen.
Okay. Is the name hidden?
No, I'm going to convert it into the regular thing that we follow, right?
Okay.
The cat with the gun thing.
Okay.
So before we start, and before I can get things in order, just give me 2 minutes time. And there's a question that I would like to ask everyone, with your kind permission, Guruji.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So the question is, if given a choice to give an analysis, what is more important, the bhavas or the bhavadipatis? If the question is not clear, I can rephrase it.
How can you read the bhava without the bhava dipatis?
For example, when we are talking about progeny, do we look at the 5th house first and then go to the 5th lord? Or do we look at the 5th lord first and then go to the 5th house?
I think
that was the question.
I think you're hinting at you want to study the occupants of the 5th house and then go on to the lords of that house, right? The lord of that house.
Yes. So would it be like, even more refined to say that we are studying the bhava first? Because what you told comes under studying the bhava. Right?
Okay.
So if I had to rephrase your answer, then basically, if we are reading the grahas in any bhava, that would define that bhava in the first place, right? So are we not hinting at looking at the bhava first and then looking at the lord of the lord, the bhava devotees?
Yeah, you're right. Bhava first only.
Yeah. This has to be the thing.
Because it starts from there, right? Even if you say we start the horoscope reading from Lagna, Lagna itself is a bhava.
Okay.
So,
but many times there is a confusion among the learning astrologers, the ones who are in the path of learning, whether to start with the Lagnadipati or with the Lagna.
it is from Lagna. You will even start the reading in any case, right? You have to start from Lagna. So it is you're actually starting with the 12 houses only first. But then it's inseparable. That's the problem. That's why there could be, but in the order of things, you should start from the house first.
Okay. So if there's any query that's being asked, we first go to the house and then we see if that zone is fertile.
Exactly.
Or is it a desert? And then we go to the other parameters.
Okay.
So if anybody has to comment on this discussion, your experiences, we can share. If you have any doubts, please ask Guruji.
Even in Brihasutram, the lords of houses is usually discussed a little later, right, in the paragraphs. It's not immediately discussed. So the house, the houses is what makes a horoscope itself. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, the problem is it's like saying in the body, which is the most important organ. It's like that. But obviously, when you say first house, second house, third house, fourth house, we are starting with the Baba only. Just because the Lagna came here, that became the second house, that became the fifth house, and this became, all this has happened only because of the Baba. And time of birth is directly related to the Baba. Planets in exaltation, debilitation is not directly connected to, or so strongly connected to time of birth. It's not sensitive to time of birth. Okay. There are some basic ideas by reading both Brihat Parashara Horashastra and the Brigusutram. You can learn and can figure it out by yourself by just spending some extra time with some statements that has been made. There's something called the significator, right? There's something called the significator. For every event or every sphere of life, there is a. So if you cleverly use that along with the Bhava significations and everything, you will get a little extra information or more confirmation. Maybe you can say there's more fate to deliver that result in the person's life. Suppose I ask a flat statement like, what about second lord in the fourth? Okay, second lord in the fourth. What would you say? Just second lord in the fourth. You can somewhat, even without BPHS, you can guess. It should be good only, right? Because
Yes, sir.
It will be good because second house is also assets, fourth also is assets only. Or maybe fourth is more comforts and second could be any asset. Okay. Happy family life. Yeah, okay. Sheena says happy family life. Great. And family life will be happy only if there is money, right? There is food in the house. Otherwise, there will be a lot of. So second house matters, fourth house matters, comforts, correct. You can easily connect. What is the exact statement that the Maharshi makes? I mean, we are guessing now, but anybody wants to read from the text? Second lord in the
Which
fourth.
one are we reading? Second lord in the fourth.
Second lord in the fourth, yes, Soumya.
Okay. Right, I'll pull the book.
Where are you now?
Back home, Guruji. Austin.
Austin, Texas. Oh, yeah, other side of the world.
Yes, Guruji.
Mm. See, these kind of hints will come in the textbooks. So it is up to us to derive and use it somewhere else diligently. I mean, you don't have to be told that you could use it like this also. But you can say that maybe when the Maharishi was teaching, he must have told everything, but what was documented was only this much. So there is a gap, right? A communication gap. So second lord in the fourth.
So second lord in the fourth, Guruji, it says the native is endowed with all kinds of wealth. If he is in conjunction with Jupiter or is in his exaltation sign, the native will be equal to a king.
Wait. Let's divide it into two parts. First part is what? Only the first part. Now the first part is not having extra condition, right? It's simply
Right.
Anybody in this world who has second lord in the fourth is supposed to be a Dhanavan, right? A wealthy person. There is wealth, correct. Sheena says there is wealth. Okay, we have. But what is he saying next? Please read it in slow motion.
So it is saying if he is in conjunction with Jupiter or is in his exaltation sign.
Wait. We'll stop there. We'll just stop there. If who is exalted?
Second lord.
Second lord is exalted. So now he's adding an extra parameter. That such a second lord in the fourth is exalted, right? You can guess for how many lagnas that can happen. Very difficult, I think.
Only one.
Which one?
Libra.
Libra. Libra, the second lord, I mean, you is only Mars, right? Only Mars. Mars is the second lord. Mars in the fourth can be exalted. So this is a very rare condition. But instead of keeping it strict like this, that you expect it to be exalted, what about own house? What about Mula Trikona? What about a nice situation? What about Shadbala strong? Everything. You can consider. Maybe in Vimshopaka, it is in the best possible position. Vimshopaka is a kind of, because in several charts, the planet is in a nice zodiac sign. So you can give weightage, you can grade it like that. You can say 100%, 90%, 80%. You can talk like that. But what is the later part of the sloka, Soumya?
Basically, it says if he is in conjunction with Jupiter or is in his exaltation sign, the native will be equal to a king.
Very good. Now, the second portion does not limit us, right? Whereas the first one, as Gautam said, it's not possible for any other lagna where the second lord in the fourth can be exalted. Okay. So, whereas be conjunct with Jupiter, that's possible across the years, right? Because Jupiter could be in any place and then randomly the second lord people who are born across the 12 lagnas, somewhere the second lord might be with Jupiter. So here is the idea. Jupiter is a karaka for wealth. Is obviously Dhanakaraka. Dhanadhipati conjunct Jupiter, but where? It shouldn't go waste. It should go to a relevant house in the fourth. Now, what does that imply? It implies Jupiter is also in the fourth. Now go to Brigasutram and read Jupiter in the fourth. Is it good or bad? Jupiter in the fourth. Can you guess?
Grabbing the book. Yeah. 1 minute. We'll check.
Mardini says it's too good. Yes? So it's too good. Jupiter in the fourth. In the zodiac itself, if you take Kalapurusha, the ascendant as Mesha, for the entire world, regardless of any particular horoscope, if you take that, it is in the fourth house, Jupiter itself gets exalted. That's the reason why Mardini says it is too good. So he is using the logic of the Kalapurusha's exaltation also, maybe. Okay, but then we have separately also Jupiter in the fourth is too good. So like this, but the problem is, do we have enough time to think like this? Take your own sweet time and think about horoscope before that. Usually the client will ask the next question, even before you think. That's practical astrology. Okay. Those of you who are already practicing astrology, you will know that. Even while you're thinking and scratching your head, the second question would have come. Then they'll say, my aunt is not well. And then my uncle slipped on the staircase. That's it. After that, your game is over. You can't think of anything. So, you can, this is based on Kishorji's question. Where do we start? Definitely, it starts from Bhava. But then after that, you could use stack-up ideas like many planets. The other day in a consultation, after the client went, Gautam asked, what did you tell the person? I said something, and he said, that is very impressive. How did you say that so exactly? Now that comes, of course, because of combining everything together. I just showed him what I was doing. So he's understood the concept. So it is about only stack up. And when you stack up and you go back, it's like one thing leads to another. So then you go back again and reinforce what you said first. Okay. So I guess that there would have been many abortions only for male children, and the person said only male children. and your daughters will survive. Even without telling you anything, most of you can guess where the planets are. Okay? If you have good memory. Only daughters and so on. Okay? So, we have, we have all this bhavas and planets inside bhava. The lords have gone to different houses. Then lords are with maybe significators like what just now all of you, I think some of you have typed it out. So when you have the other day I was giving instructions to Gautam saying, if you want to remember horoscope, combinations, you got to associate it with somebody you know, somebody who's a celebrity, somebody from your family. That's the easy way of memorizing. And in this memorizing, you should not pick up ordinary situations. It should be extraordinary, something standing out. Okay? Let's say there are 4 children in a family. Obviously, they are from the same father and mother, and it's one unit from where they get started. Everything is common, a lot of common things. But one child's fate changes in a very dramatic way, and the person becomes super rich. Now, that's the horoscope that you should study. 3 people very healthy, 1 person extremely unhealthy. Study that chart. Because even if you use Kala Desha Patra, this is a standout, right? Something is standing out. So you can spend more time on such horoscopes. Don't spend time on average horoscopes, not even full horoscope. Okay. Okay, now shall we move on with the class lesson?
Yes, Guruji, one assumption or one point from where I started gathering answer or got a clue is from the way the chapters are designed in the book of BPHS.
Okay.
So there they are talking about the planets first, but they're not talking with connection to the bhavas. The first thing they're talking is they are introducing us to the planets, like the alphabets, how we are learning in the LKG class. And then after that, they are making sure that we understand the zodiac signs. And then we understand the relationship of the planets with the zodiac signs. And then we talk about the non-luminaries and the luminaries. And then we all talk about the hidden upagrahas, all these planets, all these grahas. So basically, Maharishi himself has given a hint that the houses have to be studied first. And then we associate the planets with the houses. So can we take that also as one more angle of...
one more clue you can. One more clue.
So and we need to know the detective work.
In the initial description, you have immediately the zodiac being described, right? Yes. The nature of zodiac in terms of male sign, female sign, mobile, the chara, sthira, and ubaya, even the prashodaya, sirshodaya, and all that. Every little thing will count if you start really getting deeper and deeper into it. And I say, oh my God, I missed that. So suddenly, if you start dwelling upon, like when you start getting into Mrityubhaga, then there is something staring in the face. Then if you know one more extra rule from, combining planets in Vargotama is not only in Navamsha, but it could be in other divisional chart, you see something extra. So like this, if you know towards the later part of the first volume, second volume, I don't remember, the Maharishi is talking about the avasthas of grahas. So all these small things will actually turn out into, like how I used to say in our examinations, the 1 mark questions also, if you answer all of them, most probably you're going to get a very high score. And at the highest level, you beat the other person only with 1 mark, right? And that could have been that 1 mark question. So you can't ignore anything. You'll have to keep in mind as much as you can. So today we have, I think, a very interesting chart. That's what Gautam said. And I don't know who's going to share.
Guruji, before we start, I'd like to request the friends here, the students and the seniors, not to reveal the name of the native, if at all
Okay.
you come to know about it,
Yeah.
as the Guruji had mentioned already in the previous class. I'd
Okay.
like to reiterate that fact because our idea is not to guess the native, but to find out what the chart is
Exactly.
in terms of
Exactly. Yeah. We are practicing, right? We are practicing. So only practice makes perfect, right? How much ever we know the theory, there is no way to play the game until you start playing. You got to practice. And I would go one step further. Suppose you know the person, then don't even, it's not only revealing their name. I mean, stop discussing it because everything you know already. So then okay, it's okay. But if you at least quote an astrological combination to support whatever you say, that's fine. Even though you know the person. Okay, that's okay. That we will eventually do, right? Towards the end. Wow, beautiful design. Congratulations, Kishorji. You made such a beautiful way of presenting it.
So this is a small portion of my screen, which
Okay.
I will be including other things as people ask. And
Okay,
as people
I got
ask.
it.
I think I need to introduce the North Indian chart as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe you can have simultaneously both at one shot. Oh, it's there at the
Is it
bottom.
okay?
Yeah, it is okay. Perfect. For those of you want to get kick-started, the North Indian way, the North Indian chart is at the bottom, left corner.
Kishorji, the name of the divisional charts is not visible.
I see.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe he knows and he might, okay.
So the native is a man who made a mark.
Okay.
That's the code word.
Dashamsa, you have Parashara, Navamsa, you have. What is so interesting in this chart? Something that catches up, catches our attention. Anything different?
Many planets close to Bhava Madhya.
Many planets close to Bhava Madhya. Maybe Jupiter, Sun. Who else? Maybe Venus. Yeah. This way, that way, yeah. 7 degrees.
Even Saturn.
Saturn is also correct. Any big yoga, at least, to start?
Hamsa Yoga.
Okay. Hans Yoga. Jupiter in?
Kendra, 7th house.
Kendra.
Kendra. Own sign. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be simultaneously own house or exaltation, right? So just
Who said
because
that? Can you please type it out in the chat?
Mardini was first, I think, to say Hans Purush Yoga. Mahapurush, right? Big people. So what do you mean by this Mahapurusha? You want to say some extra things? Okay, there are some specific statements in BPHS, but how do we generally classify a Mahapurush? On what angle that should be? Is it about wealth? Or name and fame? That even after their death, the legend, lives on. They don't really die. So many things, right?
Is there a connection, Guruji, between the number 5, that is in Panch Mahapurush, we say 5 Mahapurush, and the 5 types of professions that are prevalent,
Yeah.
So there should be
Exactly.
some connection there.
Yes.
I read it somewhere, I don't remember it.
Maybe instead of profession, you could speak about types.
Varna, yeah, the actual word is Varna, right?
Yeah. Varna is actually 4. By definition, it is 4. Because in Bhagavad Gita, we have this Chatur Varnyam Maya system. I've created the four varnas. But maybe, okay, maybe that was applicable in those days. Maybe now we have 5 distinct types. The Mars type, the engineers, the dynamic people, and all this people who use tools and gadgets, this type, or maybe force physical, like that. So then Mercury, all intelligence. Even the other day I was saying that Mercury is actually ruling the world now because so much of IT, so much of electronic revolution, right? Mercury, communication, news. Everybody is having a mobile phone in their hands. So it's Mercury dominated times. Mercury, then Jupiter, knowledge,
Books.
and basically knowledge, wisdom, as against intelligence, which is Mercury. Do you know the subtle difference? Not even subtle, it's a big difference, gross difference between wisdom and intelligence. You want to say some example of wisdom and intelligence?
Yeah, even the thieves is smart, but without wisdom. So it's Rahu intelligence, but Jupiter is with wisdom. That's why Jupiter is the Karaka for intelligence, the fifth Karaka.
Correct. Okay.
Can I give a
Fifth house versus
funny
the ninth
answer
house,
to that,
Guruji.
Guruji?
Some example, like some
So,
example.
intelligence is knowing what to speak, and wisdom is knowing when to speak.
Guruji,
Okay.
I want to say wisdom is the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual way of looking at the material things, and intelligence is the material intelligence, what we get. And intelligence is ruled by Mercury, and wisdom is ruled by Jupiter.
Jupiter and Mercury relationship. Jupiter, how Jupiter looks at Mercury, how Mercury looks at Jupiter. Don't refer any book, just straight from your head. Jupiter looks at Mercury how? Mercury looks at Jupiter. What is, you have to say something about it. Or Jupiter treats Mercury as friend, enemy, or neutral. Straight from your memory.
It is a memory that I've accumulated from one of my past references, resources. So I would not be wrong in accessing my memory. So I would say that the initial intelligence that is endowed for a human being right after birth is mercurial. And what he becomes, what he attains later on is Jupiter quality. In other words, that intelligence that helps him, that he is provided with as a human being who is born in this planet, that intelligence is Mercury. And from that intelligence, the derivative of that becomes Jupiter. In other words, he reaches the path of higher knowledge using Mercury. Mercury is like logical thinking, which is very much needed because a child, when it's running near water or fire, for the first time, it doesn't know what it is. And then when it gets that impact of it, the next time he will not go. He has become wiser. So that slowly accumulates over time. It spreads and it takes its roots and it becomes what is known as wisdom. Wisdom, again, I think Sardaji was saying about this spiritual knowledge, but wisdom encompasses many things. And the highest peak of it is the spiritual knowledge or Atma Gyan.
Good.
So that is the reason why we have Mercury ruling 2 corners of the chart and Jupiter ruling the later part of the chart. The initial part, right after the Kalpurusha's Lagna, we have Mercury coming into play in 3 and 6. And then we have Jupiter coming in play in 9 and 12. So that is why Jupiter comes after Mercury. So Mercury is like the innate intelligence or inbuilt programmable memory that is, intelligence or logical thinking that is there in every human being. But to reach that point where it becomes Jupiter, that is the evolution.
Okay. See, there is a story of two mothers claiming this child is actually mine. Okay. Now, how do you, and this is brought up before a king, how do you find uh, whose child is this? Let's say it happened so many years back, maybe, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 years. Okay, it's a real story. Now, how do you find whose child this is? Can suggest maybe if you study horoscopes or whatever.
Mother will be.
Mother will know, right? The mother will know. But
yeah, mother will be. Sorry, sir. Continue.
Yeah, the mother will know. Only the mother will know, but the other lady is also claiming it's my child. So to the public, now that it has been brought up in the court of the king has to decide. And how does he go on to find out whose child it is?
I've heard of the story, so Guruji, I won't
Then
say
don't
it.
participate. Yeah. Then
Yeah, same things, Guruji.
Okay. Those who have not heard about it, participate. Okay. So there are several versions to this. The Indian version is that the king said, both the people hold one part, like you hold the hands, the other lady hold the leg and start pulling, like a tug of war. So if they drew a line in between, and whoever draws, the child beyond that line, like tug of war, the child will now on from now on it will belong to that person who was able to drag it towards them. But if you pull the hands and legs of a child like this, what will the child do? So it starts crying in pain. And so the real mother immediately left because she couldn't bear the child going through pain. Whereas the other lady knows it's not her child. So she did not bother. And so the king said, the game is over. You execute the other lady. And she was killed. So what could take a lot of intelligence to prove whose child it is? By a simple act of wisdom, the king is able to find out. Okay? To manage a situation. Now, this is not intelligence. This is called wisdom. Okay. That is Jupiter. So there is but the cleverness of the other lady to say this is my child, and she thought this is going to be a tough case because it's not easy to prove, right? The story is that both of them delivered a child, but one child died. So the other lady said, "This is only my child. The child who died is your child." So that's how the problem started. So whose story are we talking? Who is the king, Soumya? She's not here. Somebody said you know the story. So who is the king?
I don't know the king.
Sri Krishna Dev Raya.
Yeah, we have many versions. I think this is all over the world. King Solomon the Wise. Okay. But it could have happened elsewhere also, right? This situation, why can't it happen in other parts of the world also? There's always a wise king somewhere. Okay, so the wisdom always prevails. So which planet is now wisdom? We now know it is Jupiter, right? So all these Hans Yoga people, I think they must be very wise. The stories of wisdom always survives eternity. Wise decisions. What about planets, the ethos? Does that say something? Ethos, who are they? The Sun, Mercury, and Mars. What about Venus in the ninth?
Excellent, Guruji.
Huh?
It's a non-sign. It's very good.
Lakshmi
Won't
Yoga.
say.
Do we see this? And since I started about the question about the bhavas first, do we see the eighth bhava being Shubha Kartari? Would I be wrong in saying that? The eighth bhava flanked by Jupiter and Venus.
Yes, Kishorji, it's a benefic hemming of that sign.
Maybe my terminology is not right, but it is definitely something that we have to say about the bhava, right?
Yes. And also there is a significant yoga in that side, in that place.
One is the Buddhadit Yoga.
I think you should ask the rest of the students.
We are trying to kickstart the discussion, Guruji.
Okay. You're saying there is
See,
no
sometimes,
momentum.
so we have to push
Okay.
the vehicle forward, and then
Okay.
engage the gear and then clutch and then start.
Okay.
And then when
Okay.
they start, I will remain silent.
Okay.
Ninth
a
lord
nice-
in the ninth is very good, right?
No, wait. We have gone beyond that. Instead of saying ninth lord in the ninth is very good, you've got to complete it with a statement that spells out the result.
So abundant fortunes,
Yeah,
be
good.
virtuous,
Yeah,
handsome.
yeah.
Yeah, abundant fortune.
Exactly. Now, who are fortunate? The rich man is fortunate. A good man is fortunate. A God-fearing person is fortunate. If affliction happens on the ninth house, what really goes wrong in a person's life? If let's say there's an eclipse on the ninth house.
Faith and guidance from father or religion. Faith, I think faith gets affected.
The matters of faith, everything gets afflicted, right? Affected.
Mhm.
So, on the contrary, how will you say if the ninth lord is in the ninth and that too a natural Shubha Graha? Natural, functional, in two ways. Right?
Correct. Mhm.
So it's something big. And luckily for us, Kishorji's format also reveals a nakshatra. If you don't know how to read the nakshatra from degrees, if you're a beginner, you will not be able to do it. Don't worry. The words, the letters are there, which says Venus is in Moon's nakshatra. Okay, here.
And Moon is in Venus nakshatra.
Yeah. Here, I want to tell you something. Some of you might have had a glimpse at Professor KSK's work, K.S. Krishnamurthy's work, which he later on started referring as Krishnamurthy Paddhati KP system. But without going into too much complications, I want to tell you what do we mean by planets in houses, lords of houses? All this is actually a connection, a sambandha. It's only a connection. I'm in this class, I get connected to all of you. You also get connected to the class. You're connected to me, we are all connected to the cause of astrology or whatever. So it is only connections. Yesterday at the same time, I was in some other place playing a game and you were doing something else. So this connections is not just the Rashi alone. It could be so many things, but to keep it simple, we can say at least we should not ignore the nakshatra connections. A little bit you'll have to keep an eye on it. Because when Venus sits in the ninth, it connects to the moon, who's the lord of the 11th, in the 12th house. Right? But is it really in the 12th?
First house.
It is in the first house, right? In the Bhava chart, which I think we have here, right? So it is actually 11th lord in the first, in its nakshatra, Venus is. So something something nice has happened there. The Labhadipati sits in Lagna Bhava. It is not in 12th. But when we say not in 12th, we are only talking about the 12th house separately, regardless of any other thing. But there is something called that the moon is in the region of the sun who owns the 12th house. I've repeated this many times. That is the reason why many people got fantastic reading only from the Rashi chart without going to the Bhava chart. I hope you all have understood what we are saying. The moon is in Leo. And Leo belongs to the sun. Sun is the 12th house lord. So moon is connected to the 12th house also. But when you read a book, Brihasutram, moon in the first you want to read or moon in the 12th? You read moon in the first. Don't read moon in the 12th. That's all I have to say. Okay? But for all other practical things, you can say there is a connection between 8th house because the dispositor of the moon is the sun in which house? 8th house. And somebody said they're all floating around the Bhava Madhya. So something to do with 12th and 8th. Something very predominant. We await other people to contribute. Let's read out. Madini says 4th house Lord connected to 7th house. Jupiter in own house. High education achievement to this native. Okay? Or known for his knowledge or known for his education. Mercury, Lagna Mercury in 8th house, I think, is debt-free and wealthy. Mardini, how do you say that? Let's learn. Lagna, Lord Mercury in 8th house with exalted sun.
If it's Mercury in the 8th house with good position, like he is, and with exalted sun with Mars in its own house, so Asbir Breha Parashar Hora Shastra, the native is debt-free and wealthy, because the only planet from benefic planet which fit the 8th house is Mercury, and if Mercury in good position in the 8th house, the native can be debt-free and can be wealthy. But as well, if we get moon as a lagna, the dispositor of the moon is sun is in the 9th house as well. Exalted.
Okay. Exalted. Okay.
From channel. So the pattern repeated from lagna and from moon.
Okay. Good. Thank you. We'll wait for more inputs. Hari says long life as 8th Lord in own house. Yes, 8th Lord in the own house, right? Mars. Is that true, Gautam? Long life?
May not be, Guruji. Because Mars combusted.
Okay.
12th Lord in 8th house is like medium span of life.
Maybe that indicates maybe he had some close call, some testing times in middle age, right? Madhya-ish. Let's ask Gautam. For Hans Yoga, is there a promise for long life?
Yes,
Gautam?
Guruji.
There is? Okay.
Yeah, Parashara says he will live up to 100 years.
Okay.
And in the stack up Guruji, Mars in the 8th, Brihasutram says he will not be long lived.
Separately, Mars in the 8th. Okay.
8th, yeah.
But do you give importance to that Mars in the 8th could have been many varieties of Mars in the 8th, but this Mars in the 8th is the 8th Lord in the 8th?
Own house. And own house Mars. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So maybe we could seek Kishorji's help and say, can you show us the Shadbala of Mars, just in case we want to know whether it is really going to show the result of combustion. See, where is it? Is it showing? Okay. See, I want to tell you one thing, that all this own house, combustion, afflictions, all these are stack up points. Okay, you just can't negate everything with a combustion. What combustion means is there could be some anxieties. Okay, so there could have been something. So when Saumya quoted Bhrigu when you read Bhrigu very closely, that you have the book with you, Saumya? Mars in the
Yes,
Eighth?
yes.
Yeah, Mars.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just read the first line, Mars in the Eighth. Okay. Just
So if Mars is in the 8th house, the native will suffer from eye diseases. He will not be long lived.
Okay, then now what you do? You come a little, you go further up and say, is there something where he says, no problem, this is not going to be an issue, something like that, anything? Because definitely there will be something contrary to in the same paragraph.
Right, there is, Guruji. So he says, which I think is applicable here. If the Lord of the 8th is powerful, the native will have full longevity.
Yes.
Longevity.
This is the problem with astrology. This is the problem. See, sometimes I feel exaltation is a kind of strength, but I actually feel own house is somewhat better than even exaltation in a certain way. Are you able to see what I'm trying to say? Better than exaltation. From what point of view? If I'm in my own house, I always feel very strong. Even if I am in a 5-star hotel, which is exaltation, maybe it's very keeping me happy, right? But as far as the strength comes, it will be only in your own house, more than even exaltation. I mean, this just to, don't take it like I'm creating a new idea in astrology. Just consider this also in your mind. Mars in own house as even in Bhrigu Sutra, without even talking about the lordship. Okay. But before that, there is a line, right, Soumya? Even before this line you said. Which gives us a kind of a... Yeah.
So one is about conjunction with a benefic and one is about...
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So
association of a benefic.
Yeah, association. So this person would have had trouble also, but the lifespan is not so much afflicted. Maybe there was some health problem. Maybe Gautam can say, or Kishorji can say, did he have some certain kinds of problems? Like Mars is actually a Vata Pitta Graha. People only think it's a Pitta Graha. Bhrigu clarifies it, right? It's a Vata Pitta. So, and even Bhrigu Sutram says, Bhrigu says the person can have Vata. Now, Vata is what? What is the main significations? Okay, beyond the scope of today's discussion, but I'll generally tell you Vata
pain,
is actually,
right?
Yeah. One word is pain. Can you say some symptom, something that gives pain? Everything you put it under Vata. I mean, such a generalization, but it's not as easy as this. Ayurveda don't say it's just 3 doshas and you know everything about it. There could be combinations of 2 doshas. We don't have any Ayurvedic doctors attending the class. I don't know if there are. So Mars in the 8th could actually be that. But when a planet is in its own sign, you got to give some weightage to that. Anyway, let's continue. Did we, in the meantime, somebody has typed something? Mardini says skin issues. Yeah, there'll be dry skin, and usually an heart attack is so painful, so heart problems might be there. Arthritis, Sheena says. Yeah, anything where there is so much pain, and you know what generally they'll do? People have to, give massage, press. They'll say, please press here, please press there. They'll feel very comfortable when they get pressed, by the people who do this massage and physiotherapy and so on. Okay. So what is the highlight, the positive highlight? Jupiter in 7th, Hans Yoga, and this big Lakshmi Yoga, right? Venus in the Lord of the Ninth in the 9th. Anything else? So is it as simple as this? You want to say something?
Guruji, here I wanted to ask you that 1-7 axis is Rahu Ketu, and then also 8th Mars in the 8th. Although, as we just discussed, a lot of the effects, it's in its own house and everything. So where is this person having, will this person have a health issue across the spine, like you say, 1-7 axis? Or?
Yeah, it could be, yes. But it's a typical Vata person, right?
So because it would be more in the urinary or the 8th house area?
Could be, yeah. Maybe, yes. What Samya says, 1-7 is actually the Rahu Ketu will be there on the spine. Okay. So
I also want students to look at the positive influence over the Lagna for the health part.
On the health part. Okay. You can give some clues like how Kishorji says, get the ball rolling.
So Saturn, retrograde Saturn is occupying Lagna, so it's a blemish for the health. Other than that, who is aspecting the Lagna and to what degree?
Jupiter is aspecting the Lagna and Saturn. Jupiter is fully aspecting the Lagna, and Jupiter must be surely aspecting Saturn, right?
Yes.
Bang opposite, right? So you can, if you want to mention, you can say a Hans Yoga that is protecting the person, right? Or influencing the person so much. On which house? On the first house. Maybe the head is influenced. The head is influenced so much by Jupiter. Or protected.
Yeah. So the general health is protected by Jupiter there. But the Lagna Lord going to the 8th house, Adusthana, and afflicted by the one of the worst malefics, Mars, has its own importance, its own meaning.
Okay. Can I also, if I change the topic, can I look at what is the meaning of the 10 and 8 getting so strongly connected in the 8th? Do we get any clue from there? Or 10th Lord, Mercury, is in the 8th along with the 8th Lord, so close.
Karmahina.
With 12th Lord, Guruji.
With 12th Lord. I must admit that astrology is very complicated. Okay.
But one thing is for sure, Gautam, this person has been battling with something throughout his life. It's either enemies or diseases, because the 6th house also has high points in Ashtavarga. The Lagna Lord, again, like you pointed out, going to the 8th. And from Arudha the Lagna Lord going to the 6th itself, Mars. So there's just so many combinations where it says that he's been battling with something throughout his life. So the question is, we need to round off whether which is enemies or diseases. So diseases, and again, Saturn, you'll have to notice though it's aspected by Jupiter, it's very close to the ascendant 7 degrees and it's retrograde. And Moon in 12th, it's being afflicted by Ketu. So it could be the mind oriented also. So I'm just sorry, I just joined some time back, so I was just spitballing.
Okay.
Could that all sixth house significations? What are the other sides of the fifth? I mean, the sixth house. Is it just the diseases and enemies?
Depths.
Could it also be foreign connections?
Foreign. No, the reason I went in that line was because 6th and 1st, the first word that Parashara uses is sickly. Saturn in Lagna. So that is one of the reasons I picked it up. So, but like you said, if it's for foreign connections, 10 and 6 connection, 11 and 12, 6 and 2.
Can we see Chara Karaka, please?
Karakas, okay. Kishore, do you have a chart? I mean,
yes.
Karakaraka.
Shadbala, do you want to see it, Guruji? Yeah, this is here.
Oh, Shadbala is here. Which is the strongest graha? Saturn.
Saturn.
Okay.
Next strongest is Mercury.
Mercury, oh.
Then Sun.
No. How is that? Sun, Moon, Mars.
It's Moon.
So
yeah.
Moon is second. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury.
Oh, that's Moon. Okay.
Yeah. It'll always be in the same weekday order only. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that.
One question I have for students is that something significant happened in Mars, Mercury.
Wow.
Mars, Mahadasha, Mercury.
You have to guess that. You have to guess that, right?
Yes.
I'm sure people will guess. What happened in... First, you have to find whether it is positive, negative, right? Whatever happened in Mars, Mercury. So his life starts with what dasha? He is born in Venus. So Venus maybe... so where is Navamsha, Venus? Where is the moon? So Venus, 4th pada, right? He was born in 4th pada of Purva Falguni. So he would have had maximum 2-3 years in Venus dasha, then quickly moves on to Sun, and then Moon, 10 years, and then Mars. Are you sure? It is Mars, Mercury? Gautam?
Yes, Guruji. Kishore, can you scroll down?
Mars, Mercury. Mars, Mercury. Okay. 1972.
How old is he for Mars Mercury, Guruji?
The age is showing up there, I think. He must
20.
be 20-year-old.
Okay.
At least is it... Yeah.
Hari Doraka mentions that Mars exalted in Navamsha. That helps the above statement of long life. Hariji, Mars is not exalted in Navamsha. Please check that again.
Navamsha debilitated.
Yeah. So it's the opposite actually in your case. If you go by your statement, then the opposite is...
Okay.
Yeah. And Navamsha, Mars debilitated, and Mercury is 64 Navamsha. I think some events, unfavorable event happens in this dasha. Both of them in the 8th house.
Okay.
Even unfavorable. I think accident or unhealthy regarding the health, something happened in this dasha. Even
yes, Gautam.
Mars debilitated.
Gautam?
Yes, Guruji.
Is it correct?
What was taken, Guruji?
You said that there was health problems.
No, he said
Yes.
specifically there was some
Accident.
serious accident. Yeah.
Negative event
First
instead of
is,
positive.
first it was negative and then accident possibility. Why? Because 8th house is sudden. Okay. Okay, good.
Yes, Guruji. It was a kind of accident.
Okay. Why do you say kind of accident? He was not injured?
I mean, when we say accident, people often think it's a vehicular accident.
Oh.
In this case, it wasn't a vehicular accident, and he was indeed injured.
So it was a water accident.
What?
Water-oriented accident?
No,
It
not
could even
water.
be a sports injury, Varmanji.
Sports, okay.
Because sometimes you also have accidents and injuries in sports. Right, Gautam?
Yes, Kishorji. Yeah, he was playing
that is-
basketball while he had that accident.
That is
And-
why, so 10th and 8th makes sense. Okay.
And this,
Even
there is a... Go ahead, Mardhaniji.
Sorry, Gautam. Mercury is 64 Navamsha and conjunct with Jupiter, the Lagnesha of Navamsha in 6th house. Again, in D1, it's in 8th house. Mars debilitated. So definitely in this dasha could refer to some big accident will happen to this native.
And also, is there any transformation of his life like after this incident? Because it is like third house of, Mercury is also represents third house for this native.
No, Ishwarji, is it? Yeah, sorry. Go on, sorry.
No, he completely recovered after that accident. No permanent damage. I mean, we have to look. We saw a yoga here, an Arishta yoga, formed by Mercury being the Lagna Lord going to the 8th house associated with a malefic. So that's a primary Arishta yoga. And yogas show when, yogas show what and dashas show when. In this case, Mars Mercury activated that Arishta yoga. That's what happened in this case. And while he was playing basketball, he had a fall and injured his knee, which needed surgical repair and weeks of hospitalization.
Oh, I see. So it is not a vehicular activity. Accident.
Gautam, can I have one question? Is there bigger change in this native in a profession or in general after this accident? Like he changed his job, he changed his career, he changed his life, but positive one?
That's interesting. How do you say that?
Come again, Mardhaniji?
I mean, after this accident.
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji, please continue.
No, you say. Because you are the.
I mean, any very positive things in general happened in this native in the life of this native after this accident, including a change of career, fame, and the rise in status.
No, Mardhaniji, not to my knowledge, and he was only just 20 at that time.
But any change to profession?
No, Mardhaniji, none.
Okay, thank you.
No, but I think there was a transformation, but maybe it didn't happen at this age. We'll keep that in mind. Huh? So
yeah,
and then we'll ask Mardini on what was the line.
Is it happens in Rahu Mahadasha or Rahu Antardasha, the change?
Your question was that that change was pertaining to that accident he had. That was your question, right?
No.
Yeah,
after the accident, he underwent a sea of changes, something very dramatic change, and he shifted from one maybe his profession, his career. So there was a remarkable change in the way he looked at life. So that's what I think. He's hinting at some dramatic change in mentality or something. That's what I can guess. That's what Mardini wants to say.
Yes, something like this exactly. Yeah.
Mardini, what was the astrological rule that you referred to, or did you refer to anything in the Shastras for which you gave that statement, or was it just common sense prediction?
No. Okay, I will explain it quickly. Mercury is Lagnesha. It's in 8th house. Okay, which transformation? I have thought that Rahu can be considered as a second lord of Virgo. It's also in Dushtana houses. When both of them can be in Dushtana houses and this event happens, okay, so you can consider either a Rahu Dasha or Rahu Antardasha after this accident or after this transformation that something very dramatic will happen, because both Lagna lords are in Dushtana. When the Lagna lord in Dushtana, then it is too easy for the native to take the decision of resign, leave something, starting something new. Especially now that Mercury in 8th house and it's 64 Navamsha. And Navamsha also it's conjunct with the ascendant of Navamsha. So this action, when the accident happened, can consider that big, very dramatic change will happen to the path of this native. Even Mercury is 9 from Moon, so something related to his mentality. He will take decision. All his, 9 from Moon is where our mind focusing. So I think after this accident, he has taken a decision that he will change his career, or he change his mentality, he change his priority in life. But definitely this accident was a turning point. But I think turning point, I think positive, but has something related to Rahu, which is some group of people will consider it incorrect.
Okay.
No, change would have happened. If the timing is correct, I don't think the change would have happened after this accident, but it could have definitely happened in Ragu. The reason I'm saying Ragu, if the timing is correct, because Ragu is in 3rd from Lagna in Dasamsa, D10. So that very simple rule alone can indicate a change or transformation. So is that right, Gautam?
I think what Mardhaniji said was that Mercury in this case being afflicted by many means and being the 6th Navamsha and all is very potentially harmful. And because of these good yogas in this chart, these harmful events or significant changes could bring a good positive change in this person's life too. Is that what you meant?
No. The question is, when did the change happen? When, as positive in the Mars Mercury period, which you had just mentioned, right after the accident, or he was saying maybe in Ragu Dasa or Antadasa. So that is what he was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think in Rahu. Yeah. I think in Rahu Mahadasha or Rahu Antardasha, or we didn't see the Charadasha. Maybe in Aquarius.
So, Mardini, I have put the Charadasha in the North Indian template. Is it okay for you? You just need to identify the grahas, right?
Yeah, I will have a look. Thank you, Kishore.
Okay, because if I put it here, then the nakshatra lords will vanish.
Okay.
Yeah, so let us keep the nakshatra lords in the South Indian chart, and the charakarakas can be seen from here.
I think he wants the Charadashas. Kishore.
No, he wanted the charakarakas.
Karakas, okay.
No, he will definitely ask about Charadasha, because after knowing the Charakarakas, he's going to ask Charadasha also.
Yes,
yes, please.
Yeah, he wanted to check if Aquarius period.
Okay. So I'll have to reduce the size of this, unfortunately. And
or we can change the nakshatra in the default D1 from nakshatras to Charavargas if you want.
Okay. Let this go back and sit snugly where it was.
You become such an expert in rearranging.
The problem is I can't go to other pages because they have other
Yeah,
things.
correct.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to manage with that.
Meantime, when Kishoji is setting this up, I would like to say, suppose we speak about, let's say, take one topic, how intelligent or how wise this person is. If Jupiter is in giving a Hansa Yoga, and on that background, if Lagna Lord is in the 8th, what could be common? Only from that point of view.
Long life.
No. Jupiter the wise, I'm talking about wisdom. Okay, Hansa Yoga, and then Lagna Lord in the 8th. How do you stack up? From what point
So
of view?
Lagna Lord,
Yes.
Lagna Lord in the 8th, as per BPHS, is the native will be Siddha, Vidya,
That's
Vichar.
wait. Yeah, stop there. That is, but then the problem with us is we will take it literally, something to do with ancient knowledge. So it's basically maybe ancient knowledge also, but it is somewhat a different kind of knowledge. There's 8 those things, right?
8th house stands for research, occult.
Yeah, occult and so on. Maybe
and going under the surface. Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, maybe Mardini was trying to hint that whatever happened, something happened dramatically. He must have been influenced by that event. God knows, because it might have sown the seed for whatever he did later on. So the problem with astrology is that without dasha and antardasha, like even Gautam said, what has to happen will be shown with the planets, but when is dasha? But even without dasha and antardasha, there is something called synopsis view of human life. Just a synopsis view. A synopsis view means it will be always as the most significant thing in the person's life. So this is a question about 10 and 8 connection, right? We know the Kanchi seer had his 10th lord in the 8th. That doesn't mean karma hina. Okay, but maybe in the normal sense it is karma hina, but if you change the topic, it can become spiritual. Okay.
We also did another 8th house chart, Guruji. I think 2-3 months back. Isha Yoga's founder.
Isha, Rajneesh had a lot of.
Yes,
Osho had
Rajneesh.
Had a lot of planets in 8th house. So 8th house is not. See, the problem with astrology is if you read part by part, you will miss everything. You got to read it connecting, interconnecting. Like if you think I spend some time talking about the wise or wisdom, and then Lagna Lord in the 8th, then somebody spoke about short life, long life, short life, long life. Mercury in the 8th itself is long life. Refer Brigha Sutra. Mercury in the 8th. So, and there in Mercury in the 8th, I think Soumya has the book. Mercury in the 8th, Soumya, can you just read out the relevant things about longevity?
Okay.
You're okay, right? You're fine?
Yes, Guruji. If Mercury is in the 8th house, the native will get a good span of life and will be owner of a large area of land. And then regarding life span, if the Lord of the 8th is strong, or if the Lord of the 8th is in his sign of exaltation and associated with benefic, the native will be assured of full span of life. If the Lord of the 8th is in the sign of debilitation and is associated with malefics, the native will have a short life.
Yeah. So these are things that we should keep in mind. But in the context of Jupiter in giving Hansa Yoga, Mercury making him a scholar, and then Venus in the 9th, from that point of view, what could Venus be? 9th lord in the 9th. What are the things you can connect to?
Higher education.
Higher education, beautiful. So start connecting. Okay.
Guruji, can we say that Moon is very close to Saturn, hence the disciplined person can get to the stage of becoming a holding wisdom, and again Ketu is there. Ketu keeps native isolated, and hence he is able to concentrate or focus. Yeah. So to stack up the initial point that Jupiter in seventh is wisdom, to stack up, can we assume this?
Yeah, you can. Now, coming to that point about this Ketu, Moon, all this, the grahas, can we, Gautam, anything about marriage? Is there something different in marriage? Or is it normal marriage? Just say normal marriage different. Or something different. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll wait and see what that is.
Gautam, I have one question. If this native has some legal issue or some imprisonment in his life?
No imprisonment.
But some legal case like big file?
No, not to my knowledge. And I just came to know something about this person, and you were right. In Mercury-Mars period, he did have some significant changes in his mentality.
Wow.
Actually, Gautam, I was wanting to say that because I remembered that. But then when you said, when you answered point blank, I thought probably I'm wrong.
But astrology can't be wrong, right? So Mardini is also not wrong. Okay.
Because in his memoirs, he has mentioned that as a significant event from where his life changed into another direction.
Wow.
But when Gautam denied it, I was wondering because Gautam is more closer to this person than me. So I thought probably I am wrong. I am talking about somebody else, I think.
Okay.
And
yeah, I was looking at another event. That was a problem.
No. What I was thinking, it affected him, and it was the seed for a later transformation. I thought like that. Okay.
That was the actual transformation that you're talking about, Guruji.
Okay.
The actual transformation that took place. That catalyst was the accident.
Correct.
When did the accident happen?
So let's say, let's applaud for Mardini's finding, okay, because he deserves the credit, right? So yeah. So we now understand that the eighth house is somewhat in a very different way for this person, right? There's an exalted planet, there is a Swakshetra Graha there, and then there is a Mercury that is the 10th Lord in the 8th. Something to do with 12 and 8, so many connections, right?
Gautam,
because it's the 12th Lord in the 8th.
Yeah. So Gautam, was there any significant event during the year 2004?
Why is that? Jupiter Sun.
Jupiter Moon, Guruji.
Moon, oh.
This Mukut Yoga.
Yes, Kishorji, there was a very significant event. And please define what is a Mukut Yoga is, and also the results.
And what is Mukut Yoga in the first place?
Okay, when Jupiter and Moon are 6-8 from each other, it is called Sakat Yoga. Sakat is like a negative yoga.
Yeah, negative side.
Sakat yoga. But the opposite of that is when Jupiter is in good dignity. Like in this case, it is Swakshetra, right?
That is, if it is in just Swakshetra, or is it exalted also?
Exalted. Good dignity means exalted Swakshetra.
High.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
high Jupiter.
It becomes a Mukut yoga where the native will actually get crowned, literally crowned or called on stage and receives an award.
So Mukuta is actually the crown.
Yes, and I've tested this with 3-4 charts of normal people, and they said yes, they did receive that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was very shocking and surprising actually. So it works out actually.
Okay.
Whenever Jupiter and Moon are 6-8 from each other, it is a Sakat Yoga. But when Jupiter is in good dignity, it becomes Mukut Yoga.
Is there no comment about Moon affliction with Ketu in that?
No, the comment is about Jupiter actually, mainly about Jupiter. Jupiter should not have any blemishes.
Kishorji, what's regarding the crown you have mentioned?
Recognition. The actual crown, like for
recognition.
example, this
Maybe
Miss
some.
Universe title. Yeah.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Something where an actual crown is placed.
Or
Yeah,
it
but
could be
what
even
was the reason?
educational qualification, something.
Something like that. Some recognition and award of
Award, reward.
On stage. It has to be on stage. In the front of the public.
But Jupiter has the aspect of Saturn, right? In this case.
So here, which is more powerful, Jupiter in own house aspecting Saturn, or Saturn aspecting Jupiter from Mercury's house, Virgo?
No, Kishorji, we can use a trick here. That is, when you talk like this and then there's a counter that Saturn is influencing Jupiter, how do you handle that is, it is a Hans Panchamaha Yoga causing Jupiter. So this Jupiter could be more special because of that.
No, this angle is also strong, Guruji, because Jupiter is having the dignity of its own house, whereas Saturn is not having that dignity.
Yeah, no, but already we gave a title to Jupiter, that Jupiter is a special planet here. And that such a special planet is causing Mukut Yoga with the moon, adds, something, we can say something about that.
Also, one more thing, Guruji, that if Saturn is in the ascendant in the sign of the Lord of the 10th, the native will be very fortunate and get Maharaja Yoga.
Where did he get that?
So that's Bhrigu Sutram, Saturn in the first house.
Oh,
but it's also in the house of 10th house. Yeah. In Mercury's house.
Karma Karak. Okay.
That's interesting. Saturn the first.
And in the sign of the Lord of the 10th, 4th or the 10th, the native will be very fortunate and will enjoy the effects of Maharaja Yoga. Name,
Gautam,
fame, and wealth.
We'll ask Gautam if it's all true.
I think I can answer that, Guruji. Yes, he definitely has name, fame, and popularity.
Okay.
He also has a following.
Is he owning a good property? Something very expensive?
From Indian point of view, definitely yes.
It's expensive, is it? Okay.
Yes, Guruji, it does.
Kishorji, sorry I joined a little late. When was the date of the accident?
When he was 20 years old.
In Mars, Mercury.
Okay, thank you.
Guruji, with respect to Mukta Yoga, when we see with respect to degrees, Jupiter and Moon comes to 1/7 axis. It's not 6/8 axis.
No, Mukut Yoga is seen from the Rashis only.
Not all things are read from, the angles like that, Niranjan. We'll have to consider that. Okay.
Okay, Guruji.
What is the problem? What is the problem of shifting it to 1/7? That shift is usually we use it with reference to Lagna. But of course, if you use a logic of I want to calculate from Dashanath, Bhuktinath is where, and all that, we could still use Baba concepts, right? But I still want to tell all of you, because now you have moved up to the next level of using Baba chart and angles. Even then, the 612 zodiac signs cannot be ignored. Because you're talking about Swakshetra, all these things are mostly zodiac, right? So this, therefore, always, that's what I say, Bhava chart, just use it only for Bhrigu Sutra. So don't use it for anything else. Planets in houses. Otherwise, you can still do everything in the Rashi chart itself. Plain, straight Rashi charts.
This guy is
This causes another doubt, Guruji. Can we use the Bhava chart for Parashari planets in houses? Or first lord in nth house?
Yeah, we can. But as I told you, you have to be very careful not to miss out the Rasi connection also. As I told you, so in Parashari astrology, like how people are using it, I'll tell you, they don't use the Baba chart at all. 80% of people in the world don't use Baba chart. They use only the Rashi chart and give the entire reading based on that. It works because there is a zodiac connection to it. That's the background. But in my experience, I saw the effects of planets and even Lord's houses in different houses working very well with the Baba chart more than the Rashi chart. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay.
This also raises to another doubt. We are saying Mukata Yoga from Rashi chart, that's okay. Will it also work when it is formed in degree with respect to degrees? Or will it work only when it is formed in Rashi chart?
Now, I think, the yogas should give more importance to the zodiac itself.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah.
And another clue to that is that yogas are seen also in the Varga charts where there are no degrees.
Correct. Beautiful. Yeah.
So Gautam, is he famous? Too famous?
Yeah, he is very famous in his field. Yes.
He's famous in his field. Okay. Somebody type it out. Okay.
Moon Jupiter and Moon Jupiter in 1/7 axis. Jupiter in his own house.
You mean in the Baba chart?
Yes. Baba chart. Moon will be in the first house. Jupiter in 7th house. So 7 axis. Moon Jupiter. He is very famous. But I want to ask Gautam that he confirmed me that he has no any legal case. Is he involved in any sexual scandal?
Not at all.
Okay.
No. Let's understand what Mardini is driving at. Is it something about his personal life, his marriage, or something like that?
Mardini, would you like to rephrase that question so that it becomes a bit more broader than being specific?
Something so specific. Okay.
Yeah. Can you go from broader to the specific? That is how Guruji advocates.
Yeah, this is the thing, Shurji, that I am unsure. I have seen some legal case, but can be hidden, or some sexual scandal or something like this, but maybe I'm wrong. But this is what I can see in this chart. So I asked Gautam that is he involved in this? He confirmed me that no.
Okay.
So
what was the statement? I mean, what was the backing for that statement? Astrological reason for that statement?
Okay, but just a minute. Is he the youngest brother in his family?
He's the
Or
last
no,
one.
he is the oldest.
He's the last one.
He is the last one, right?
I don't know. Gautam knows. He's the last of his sibling. The siblings.
Guruji, give me 1 minute. I have to check.
Okay.
I think Mardini is hinting at Venus in Rohini Nakshatra, which is like more sensual kind of.
Okay.
I'm hinting about his Arudha Lagna, but his Arudha Lagna is too complicated. So I asked Gautam some question just to confirm that the Arudha Lagna can be 3rd house or 9th house.
Where is his Arudha Lagna? It is in Scorpio?
Scorpio. UL should be in Sagittarius, right?
UL in Sagittarius.
It's in Scorpio, correct. It's in Scorpio, correct. But it can be shifted to the opposite house because it has Venus exalted. Venus is Swakshatra. So it can be considered also at 9th house, Arudha Lagna, because the 9th house is stronger than 3rd house. So that's why I'm asking him just to confirm it, because I am confused that should we take Scorpio or Taurus as Arudha Lagna.
But as the other side of the stack up for the other column, can we also say that he's virtuous because of 9th lord in the 9th, 2nd lord in the 9th? So that's a lot more like virtuous and following the dharma and following codes.
So sexual scandal may not be a possibility. Like just the opposite stack up I'm giving.
What about fifth lord in the first, Soumyaji?
I would say ninth lord, so well placed, so much dharmic, no, so much
Yeah.
following the rules. And at least Mars and Venus are separated, right? Usually Mars fans the flame of Venus. So Mars and Venus are separate, which means they can control. They can have restraint.
Right, sir.
It's complicated to chart, Guruji, right? Really, it's complicated chart.
So Kishorji, similar to Jay Hora, is it possible to know by how many minutes the D10 Lagna changes here in this?
I can tell you, just by 6 minutes, you can push the Lagna backwards in the D10.
Okay.
Roughly.
Yeah,
because
it's almost in the middle.
Yeah, junctions of dashamsas are all in 3s, 3, 6, 9, like that, right? So it is at 7. So it's cross 6. So 6.5, 1.5. Just say 6 minutes. If you 6 or 7 minutes, if you reduce, it will go back.
And Mardani ji, I couldn't get any info on if he's the first or the last of his siblings, but I know that he's the only son of his parents. And
he's the only one.
Oldest.
Yeah, only son. And he has 5 sisters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, at least out of the sons, he's the only one. Okay. I mean, that's something very interesting, right? So many, sisters, and he's the only son. It's almost enough. We got the answer that there's nobody younger to him. I would still take it as a point. Astrology is like that. You don't have to be so accurate, but you can say something. Do you see the fifth and the ninth lord are in Trikonas? Between each other at least. The fifth and the ninth. They are in Trikona and they are in mutual, Trikonas. Is that trying to say something? Venus and Saturn. Fifth and ninth lord. One more time in Trikona. Any clue about 5-9? Anybody? 5-9 against the background of Jupiter, that occult science, Siddha Vidya, all of that, all put together, ninth lord in the ninth, 5 and 9.
Fifth lord, fifth house stands for mantra siddhi, right, Guruji?
Yeah, that's what. So is it trying to say something from that point of view?
Scholarly, for sure. Fifth lord in the first.
Lagna in 8th could also mean the person can be very secretive.
Well, let's discuss his career, his profession. There's something about the way Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, they're all, placed. That's what I'm thinking. So let's read out all possibilities. All the yogas pertaining to ninth is activated, right? Because there's no confusion. The lord of the ninth is in the ninth. The ninth from the ninth. The fifth lord is in Lagna, again trinal to the ninth lord. So this is what I'm hinting. 5-9 connections, so much of 5-9 connections. If you have so much 5-9 connection, what could the person be?
A writer, publisher, author.
a writer, publisher, author. Gautam, does that tally?
Perfect, Guruji. He
Perfect.
had authored many articles and many books.
He's authored many articles and many books.
More than 25 books.
More than 25 books. Oh my God. Now our point is to find out he wrote on physics or chemistry or what subject.
We have to go into the moon lagna for that, Guruji. Moon lagna also
Yeah.
gives wonderful outputs. If you take the moon lagna lord in ninth, then we have Jupiter in the eighth, which is not the normal Jupiter in the eighth, but Jupiter with the dignity in eighth, which is where the Bhrigu Rishi says with condition supply, saintly, learned, and all that. And we see the 10th lord in the 10th. Yeah, from the moon lagna.
No, from one profession, did he change to another profession? At least, is that correct?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, that is correct. Now, is there a particular age on which from when he started into the new line, or is it gradual or something? Is there an announcement? I'm coming out of this. I'm entering this. Is there a year, a particular time? Maybe that could give us.
He changed. I think he changed when he was 26, 27 years old.
I was thinking of 25 because a significant event can happen positively if Mercury in the 8th is 25, right? At the age of 25. So you were saying 26. Okay. Was that based on Dasha and Antardasha, or is it a statement based on planetary positions?
Yeah, somehow, Guruji, we are in the same line, yes?
Same line, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he had changes in his career, yes. Significant changes. And one of those changes were unexpected for him.
Okay.
It was in Saturn Mahadasha.
Oh. Well, what is his age then? 58, is it?
How old he was? 25 or 26?
He was in his 50s when that major change happened. Until then, he was managing both, actually.
Oh, he's managing both.
Yeah.
So 2 professions at one time. Okay. 2 works. Okay. Oh.
In Jupiter Mahadasha also one significant event happened that changed him.
In Jupiter?
Yes.
Is that when he changed into the new line?
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Since he already accepted author, did he become an author during that time?
Not author, but it was at that time he met his guru.
Oh. He met his guru. Okay. Then maybe
someone who changed him. Yes.
Maybe in Chaturvimsamsa, D24, you expect Jupiter to be revealing that?
No, if it's a spiritual guru, then D20 should reveal it, right, Guruji? Or only still D24 you'll have to look.
We'll first look at D24 and see where Jupiter is. Jupiter is in the 11th in D24. Okay. If this is a spiritual guru, we can look at 20 also. Vimsamsa, D20. Jupiter in the 12th. But Swakshetra, right? Swakshetra, Jupiter. Third Lord.
What are we looking at, Guruji?
Spiritual awakening or meeting the Guru. Okay, that so we're trying. No, this is in the 12th. It is in Jupiter in the 12th. So, is this a spiritual guru?
Yes, Guruji. It was a spiritual one.
Okay. D24, go back to D24. There it was in the 11th, right? There it is in the 11th.
Here too, it is the 8th and the 12th Lord conjunct in the 11th.
Wow. Oh, there's so much 8 and 12. Wow, I didn't see that. Okay, 8 and 12 Lords connecting here. They're also in the main chart, 8 and 12 connecting.
In Scorpio, I mean, in D24, they're falling in Scorpio.
Gautam, did this person lose his son or something? Child?
Why?
No, Varmaji.
No. We have to see, it's not the question about answering it yes or no, but we need to find out what is that which V.K. Varman noted so that we can learn from that, because there must be something about it, right? Well, on what basis was it said? You notice some defects or some dosha?
No, Guruji, I'm trying to figure out why that from 5th somehow it's from moon it is going to the 8th house. From sun again 5th house has Ketu and moon. And
why don't you start generally by saying maybe he doesn't have a child, something like that? You want to try?
Something related to the 5th is affecting it. So
yeah,
you're right. Without you're right. So
see, in the past few classes we have been saying, and even Kishorji has been mentioning, let's start making the general statement first. Okay, but even the general is the general is also it's just a putra dosha. Some putra dosha I can see like that. You start off, because after that you zoom in. You see how we use a telescope or how we use a binocular. We first generally look at that direction, right? Without anything specific, and then you start zooming in. But at least generally you have to keep your binocular towards that side, right? So like that you say, I sense something could be wrong with something about the 5th house. I can see it from so many angles.
From Jupiter, from moon, from sun, from Lagna. So we can
Varmanji, what made you say that there is a putra dosha here?
No, like you just explained, from moon the 5th goes to the 8th. From Jupiter the 5th moon goes to the 6th. From sun the 5th house
is afflicted.
Ketu moon. So a lot of again from Lagna. So
maybe D7 if you go. I'm making a wild guess that a lot of the 5th and Lagna will be in trouble. That's what I think.
I have a question here, Guruji, based on what Varmanji is saying. That if we read this as 5th Lord going to 8th from Moon Lagna, that is just, there are two problems here in this statement. One is 5th Lord going to his own house, which is a dignity.
I am not giving the full marks to that. I'm not giving full marks to that.
And second thing is that we are taking from the Moon Lagna, which should be taken after we have done the main Lagna.
Correct.
So from the main Lagna, there is no problem with the 5th house, right?
Yeah. That's
then
correct.
we shouldn't go to the Moon Lagna. And then
but there are other issues. For example, if you look at Jupiter, Saturn looking at each other, there is a problem with personal matters, because it is the 6th Lord also, though it is the 5th Lord. So the 5th and 7th might give intelligence, but as the 6th Lord sitting in Lagna, connecting back to the 7th house, both 7th and 7th Lord, something about marriage is also there.
Guruji, there was a small discussion we had, I think, in the previous class or the class before that. And I think you had guided us to look at the grahas first and then to look at the lordships.
Yeah.
Based on that, what I can come to a conclusion is, before Varmanji could say there is a putra dosha, I want to say that there is an affliction to the 7th house, because Jupiter in the 7th is not good for marriage, and Saturn aspecting the 7th bhava is also not good for marriage.
Yeah. Now
so
here,
marriage thing, being a general statement, I will go there.
Here we can say that Jupiter is somewhat bothered by Saturn as a 6th Lord, looking at the 7th house, connecting back to the 7th. So unless Gautam says something about his marital status, I don't think we can proceed.
And Guruji, Jupiter here is Badakesha, right?
Which one?
Jupiter. Is Badakesha, right?
Badakesh. Okay.
Badak.
Okay. We can say that it's all right, but since the relevant times we could use it as a Marrakesh and a Badakesh. But, in our classes, we avoided the word Badakesh or the theory of Badaka lords, which seems to be working very well only in Prashna, in the other astrology, but not in the mainstream astrology. We only use it as Maraka, because the ninth lord for Kumbha Lagna is considered Badaka, right? Whereas Maharishi Parashara says it is Yoga Karaka. So we have a confusion there. And recently attended a Prashna session where an expert in Prashna was conducting the class. We didn't ask this doubt at all, but he himself told that there are people who confuse Badaka with the regular classical astrology. That is not correct. It is only in Prashna that we have to use it.
And Guruji, just to answer Kishorji's question, that you're right, Kishorji, that 5th in 1 is placed good, Saturn. But then again, I took up stack-ups from Jupiter, from Moon, and from Sun. And again, now I was about to look into Saptamsa, which Guruji already asked. The Lagna Lord itself is debilitated.
With Rahu and Ketu. With Rahu and Ketu.
And Navamsha, the Jupiter and Mercury, the 1/7 goes to the 6th house. So a lot of afflictions to partner, and Putra dosha is showing up for sure. So
in Saptamsha, do you see the affliction to the 5th house? Because I can see 5th going to the Labesha, the house of Labha.
No, but Kishorji, you have to give primary importance to the Lagna Lord of the house. The chart itself, isn't it?
Yes.
Like how in Rashi itself, you want to start with Lagna Lord and then 5th. Here you should start with the Lagna Lord itself, which is Mars, which is being debilitated. So
I think this horoscope timing is perfect, exact. Okay, because I know a little bit about something, and I'm looking at Navamsa now because the discussion is going towards that side. And
the Mercury Jupiter
is something. So I think Gautam, you must be able to say something about his marriage.
Should I reveal it now, Guruji?
Yeah.
No, Guruji, what was that statement about Mercury Jupiter in Navamsha?
See, that is, in a Navamsha chart, the most important thing to know about what Maharishi Parashara said, Navamamse Kalatranam, you know more about marriage through Navamsha. The two main houses are only 1 and 7 in Navamsha. If you are using it for, not for fortune, not for the overall fortunate things in life, but if you use it specifically for marriage, it is 1 and 7. Both the 1 and 7 lords are together in the 6th. Not just in the 6th, but they are together in the 6th is something very different. Do you see the Navamsha from this point of view?
Okay.
So now let Gautam say something about the person's marriage.
And we can also see in Navamsha that 5th house, the Mars in the 5th debilitated, and Mars' dispositor is also debilitated in Navamsha, which means that Navamsha basically we use for marriage. So the prospects of marriage seems to have taken a hit here. Can we read that Navamsha as a separate chart by itself, Guruji?
Yeah. You can. Definitely. At least relevant things you should read, not going out of context.
And here Mars is the 9th lord.
Okay.
So being the 9th lord and
there is
a Parivartana. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5-9 Parivartana.
Okay. Parivartana between Mars and Moon is removing that Nicha for both of them. Is it okay?
Correct.
So I think that would be a part of what Gautam is going to say, Gautam.
Okay, so even though he was in a relationship, he was never married and never had children.
Okay, so no marriage and no children. Okay, remember in some of our earlier classes, we did a lot of case studies where people never got married, right? And I concluded that I have noticed this across 30 years in my career as an astrologer, that whenever the 12th lord is in the 8th, there is no marriage. Simple one-line rule. Okay. But it's not as simple as that, and I've said this several times. Whenever the 12th lord is in the 8th, there is no marriage. And we have several horoscopes, including celebrity horoscopes, having the same condition. Okay. And obviously, then the other things are okay. Now, what do you think is his strength, his core competency? Some people said writer, and they did say yes. Is he a guru all by himself? Is he a guru?
Yes, Guruji.
Why?
Strong ninth house, ninth lord, ninth,
and then the Karaka for Guru himself in a Panchamahapurush Yoga, right? So we could say that.
And in that Navamsha, the Guru isn't that majorly afflicted also, so maybe except for. I think, but the Rashi itself gives the permission, like you said, for the Panchamahapurush Yoga. So.
Okay.
George, also, can you show the Sarvashtavarga score?
Yeah, Sarvashtavarga score. You think something very different is there in the Sarvashtavarga?
The only difference we noted was in the beginning was the 6th house score was very high.
Very high. Okay.
39.
Gautam, is his work, profession, articles, books related somehow to Venus?
Yes.
Could be Venus. Okay. Can't it be Jupiter also?
Yes, could be both.
Can we see the D20 also?
The Lagna Lord is exalted.
Did this person in a Shani Mahadasha become extra spiritual, maybe even built a temple or something?
Yeah, it should be, because the Lagna Lord itself is exalted.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And not only that, because even the Charadasha is showing that.
You're right.
Why did you say temples?
Because at that age, he was running a Charadasha of Taurus, and Taurus contains his MK. MK is the significant of 4th house, so building things, and it's in the 9th house from Lagna. So 9th house is spiritual places like temples.
MK you said gives significations of?
Fourth house.
Right? It could also be an ashram, right? It could also be an ashram, right?
Yeah, it could be also ashram.
He himself mentioned about the temple, right, Gautam?
Yes, Kishore.
Yeah. And I think even an institution can be connected with an ashram.
There was a very significant yoga that everyone missed in this chart.
Are you talking about Viprit?
Not Viprit. I will give a hint. Okay, I will give it in a way because it's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a solar yoga.
Oh.
Okay,
can anyone
sun-based.
name it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the yoga and OC yoga?
Which one?
Benefits in the 2nd and 12th house from the sun.
What was the name of the yoga?
Vesi yoga and Vasi yoga.
Is it not Ubechari?
Oh, sorry.
Ubechari is in both sides.
Hmm.
Okay. The front is, I think, Vesi, and back is, what's the other one?
OC.
Yeah. In the front or in the back. So it's almost like saying supported. The sun is supported. Like
So-
if you have the sun alone versus nobody on either side, versus you have both sides of the sun.
Yeah. So the Shubho Ubhayachari Yoga, which is present in this chart, is the most superior of the solar yogas. And even more in this chart, since all the planets involved has a source of strength. Sun being exalted, Venus non-sign, and Jupiter on sign.
Mars on sign, Rahu on sign.
Yes. And the Lucknow Lord being involved, making it more personalized.
When you said personalized, it reminds me of what we do when you order some painting, we T-shirt or something, we get it personalized. Something like that, So everything is good, and then he said, okay, the soul said, let me keep this there and make it even more personal.
Okay. When did he meet his guru? You said 19?
Jupiter.
Oh,
1993.
exactly
November.
Jupiter. Oh my God. That's really interesting. Oh my God.
Yeah,
The
we don't know.
exact Jupiter he met.
Yes, perfect.
The Hansa Yoga working.
Yeah, and even we don't even have to go through the divisional charts. In BPHS itself, for Jupiter Mahadasha, it is said that there will be meeting with the Brahmins.
Oh.
Yeah, which in this context could mean gurus, teachers.
So, okay. Yeah, in the context, yes, correct. If you go by caste, Brahmins they are not there all over the world, right? So, should be only types of people. Any downfall time?
Saturn, Mercury.
It could wait the package first.
Oh my God, you have a strategy for your next. Okay.
Yeah, imagine. Well, that's the 6th level save, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I hear people on
Ramyaji, you need to go on mute.
Yeah, I muted.
Gautam, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrongly.
Yeah, you got it right, Gautam. Yes.
Gautam, is he still doing two professions or only one right now?
He is only on one field right now, and it was
only
the
one
Saturn
profession?
Mercury period that made him.
Gautam, he's in two fields right now, Gautam.
Even now?
Yes, Guruji. He's doing two things.
Oh, but not related, unrelated.
Not profession, but he's doing it as a passion. Both of them are his passion.
His first profession related to Mars?
Yeah, might be.
Could be.
Because he might have been on the administration side, or What was he before, Gautam? Before the change, when he took up the next line, before that, what was he?
Gautam? He held a very good position in the corporate sector.
Oh. Okay.
He was the director of human resources.
Oh.
Gautam, this person is attend Tantra Siddhi or anything of that?
Yantra Tantra.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is anyway, Lagna Lord in the 8th, there is a direct line, right? The person could be something in a very different way. What are the original words used for Lagna Lord in the 8th? The Maharishi said something.
Scholar. Okay.
Huh? No, that we translated. We translated as scholar and so on. But the exact Sanskrit word, some Siddhi something was there, I think. I don't remember it now.
Siddhi Yoga.
Yeah, Siddhi, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know a little bit that he was a meditation teacher. Is that correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Rod, you are on some different track today.
Soumya is not letting us go. Okay. She's unmuting and then oh, I saw that some child is there, I think. Okay. Saturn, Mercury.
He was trained as a transcendental meditation teacher in 1970s.
Lunch.
Lunch. There you go.
I had to keep
Sorry, what he
pressing
was? He was in
a very good corporate position.
okay.
But the most interesting thing I liked is that he met his guru in Jupiter.
I think this is a
I think it's better to mute everyone, Guruji.
No. Wait. Shall I? I can't remove her. It's very improper.
No, it's okay to do it, sir, and maybe put a message.
Okay.
Virtual tour of his.
Guruji, I'll call her. Don't worry.
Salacious farmhouse.
I got my.
I will call her.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I can't even. I can't remove
That's
her
what our
also.
next team, get together needs to be on. See?
Because I don't know, it's not allowing. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah, I think I can. Sorry. Don't report. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
we
he
can
left,
also-
sir.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
done
he
it.
left.
Yeah, I removed her successfully. There was another pop-up which I didn't notice. Okay, that's why. So what is the current, on what topic did he write those books? Gautam?
Can I reveal it now?
Yes, it's time.
It's on astrology.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
25 books on astrology.
25 plus.
Okay.
He's still writing. And more than 75 articles.
Very good. And I attended both his, classes in Chennai when he conducted it.
Yes, Guruji.
Is it Mark Poni, Guruji?
Yeah. It is a horoscope of astrologer Mark Boni. So he met K.N. Rao ji in Jupiter.
Yes, and it changed his life.
Yeah, and very interesting story was that 2 of K.N. Rao's book was gifted to him long before he even thought about astrology. And he kept those books somewhere. Little did he know that he's going to meet him after so many years. And that's something very interesting. But for me, proof of astrology, even one thing like this, that Jupiter, he met K.N. Rao ji, is enough to say we are all on the right track. Okay. I mean, we aren't wasting our time reading astrology. That's what I'm trying to tell. Okay. Look at even the incident that happened. Everything is so perfectly falling into place. The Mars-Mercury serious knee injury. Surgical, right? Everything. Sometimes horoscopes are so. I think he had some gastrointestinal problems, right?
Yes, that too was in Saturn Mercury. Mercury and the Dasha was involved.
Yeah. So Saturn Mercury, even if you read Parashari normal method, I think you get some hints, right? See, this is the reason why Maharishi Parashara, while he spoke about, 1 second, when he spoke about Kanya Lagna, does he classify Saturn as friend or enemy? Anybody wants to try the answer? Saturn
enemy.
Is
enemy more than a friend, I think.
I
think enemy more than.
No, I'll tell you. He didn't. He kind of evaded an answer. he didn't say, because I think what he meant was you could use maybe the chart itself to find on which side it is going, and then come to a conclusion whether it is doing more good or more bad. But Mardini is saying it is more sixth house because predominant sign is in the sixth house, right? Mula Trikona is in the sixth house. So you can say it could be. So what I thought about it was, when Maharshi didn't mention it, even though of course he knows it is predominant sign is in sixth, so why not classify? He was giving some maybe weightage to the fact that the Lagna Lord, Mercury and Saturn, they are friends. So he might have used that logic there. So I have come to this conclusion: whenever I read the chart of Kanya Lagna people, I take Saturn with a pinch of salt. Even if there is something good, I think, okay, maybe this is good, but maybe some other time a bad also can happen. So that's how you'll have to read it. So once you understand that, then if you read the BPHS volume, there's a line which says that when Buddha is afflicted by Mars, it is in deep trouble. So this Mercury, Saturn Mercury, because Mercury is in the 8th from Saturn. So like this, if you combine, you get almost all the events in his life is so perfect. This also proves that maybe if you have perfect time of birth, then you get a lot more accuracy in astrology, right? Even the gastrointestinal things were all vata, pain. You know, I met an Ayurvedic doctor. I asked, where is vata? He said, in the intestine. That's all, one line. Oh. And you know what kind of pain we get in the stomach, right? It's terrible. Right.
Guruji, I want to ask you something regarding the same things. If your time allow, I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
I have read, but I cannot remember when, that, for example, now Saturn, he is the lord of 5th and 6th house.
Yes.
I have read once, I cannot remember when, but I'm unsure if I can apply it or not. They said that look Saturn in which Rashi it is. If it's in even Rashi, then it will give more result to the odd Rashi. And if it's in the odd Rashi, it will give more result to even Rashi. So, for example, now it's in even Rashi, so it will give more result to Aquarius because it's odd Rashi. So can we apply this or no?
No. I would go only by what the Maharshi has spoken about for Kanya Lagna. I would always stick to that. No, Madhuri, don't, what I am trying to say is, if you take a stance, you stay by it, and you're most probably going to get more, success. So I came to this idea that I'll simply go by what the Maharshi said in BPHS. So since he didn't come, I'm trying to recover I'm going to trace that line. Good and bad planets. I have it. I have a slide for it. I'm just searching for it. Just give me. I called it good, bad, ugly, 12 ascendants. I hope I can get it. So we have come to an end. It's the horoscope of the great Mark Boni, who's a great teacher, a transcendental meditation. He's met Sri K.N. Rao. He studied under him. Okay, so many nice things has happened. Author of books, collecting a lot of horoscopes. Seriously, into astrology, doing full time, right? Research.
Do we know what type of accident did happen during Mars Mercury? Was it a car accident or?
No. It was by playing a game. It became very complicated. Okay. I'm just trying
to. Oh my God, we were discussing horoscope of a great scholar of Vedic astrology, especially in Germany.
Exactly. In Germany, yeah, that's what. Yeah, correct. One second.
And Gautam, please, I have one question. When he meet K.N. Rao, it was by chance or it was organized previously?
It was organized. It was an international. Let me see that through 1 second. Anyway, it was formally organized before.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. This is the
Kishorji, can you
blessing of
stop?
his 9.
Yeah. That's why it's such a nice thing that today is a Friday and Venus is the lord of the ninth in his ninth. Maybe there is more connection. I didn't study today's chart. Okay, but I'll just show you the slide that I had used for the beginners class. This is the line for Kanya Lagna. Kuja Jivendava. Okay, so Kuja is Mars and Jiva is Jupiter. Papaha means the bad side. Buddha, Shukra, Shubha. So it translates as Mercury and Venus are benefics. So if you read the translations here, Mars, Jupiter, and Moon are functional malefics. Mercury and Venus are benefics. Mercury and Venus Sambandha is Raja Yoga effect. Venus is Maraka, also strange because he says it's ninth lord also, but second lord. But most probably it'll depend on age. It can turn Maraka, right? And Sun gives results as per Sambandha. How Sun is with whom, it changes its color. In this text, you see strange that there's not one word about Saturn. Okay, not one word. So, then I learned it later that it is because whenever it is not mentioned, he is asking us to apply it on one-to-one. You just case to case, it will change.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, but
I think I have learned from you that that we have to give more weightage to Mola Trikona. I learned it from you actually. That see where is Mola Trikona and give more.
Yeah, definitely the Mola Trikona has to be given importance, but sometimes you can go. Sometimes Saturn has done good also to him, right? So it is not just it did only the sixth house things, but easy ways that predominant idea we can take it for example. Why for Rishabha Lagna Venus is considered as a number one enemy, a big enemy, is because it's the sixth house falls in a Mula Trikona, right? But that doesn't apply for Karkataka Lagna, Cancer ascendant, because Jupiter, though the sixth house falls in predominant, Maharishi very clearly says it is a Shubha Graha, because it becomes the ninth lord. So ninth lord is superior to anything else. So once somebody is ninth lord, that planet is always a Bhagya Graha. So there he says, no, I'm not going to accept that it is functional. But then what really happens is, in Antardashas, when you read in over the time, somewhere Jupiter also do its sixth house work. Do not think the other lordship simply fades away or disappears, or no such thing as the other house. You only have predominant house. For reading, no. So mostly it will give the predominant house results, and sometimes it will give the other house result also. So you can see both. So Maraka, health problems, these are not regular event in our life. The regular event is our work. We do some livelihood, which is for many years, and occasionally fall sick. And of course, death is in 1 second. So it only happens once in a lifetime. It's like a joke, but that's how death is. Maraka is like that. So you don't have to keep worrying about if somebody is a Maraka Graha for this Lagna, that Jupiter can be Maraka also. All the time, Maraka, no. Then what about life? Life has to go on, right? The story goes on. The script is there. So the event can happen some other time. Okay. Anyway, it is a wonderful chart. One of the few astrologers I really bow down to for such painstaking research and producing wonderful books. They're already beautiful, something where you can learn. Please buy it from on Amazon. All his books are there. Wonderful books. Okay.
Guruji, a question here, please.
Yes.
Like we were studying since 2-3 weeks, we were kind of be able to figure out it's a chart of a sportsman, or it's like might be into a lot of money. But for this chart, we couldn't guess that it can be of an astrologer.
The reason is you think astrology is something very specific. It is actually not like that. It is like a kind of a different kind of knowledge. And this is also one kind of superior knowledge. So Jupiter has played his role. What you missed was that the 5 and 9 connection was missed. So the 5 and 9 is always authors, writers, and so on. So on the background of a Jupiter, on the background of the Lagna Lord in the 8th house, and then 9th Lord in the 9th, and 9th and 5th in Trikonas to each other, slowly you can actually build up on this. Okay. And I want to tell you, astrology is not a regular line. It is somewhat a different line. Not everybody follows it. So when you say 8th house, 12th house connections and 10th house connections, it could be a different kind of approach to solving problems. So in that astrology comes. It need not be only astrology. Okay. It could have been any other knowledge that is so maybe ancient, maybe like that you can connect. So do we have specific statements that who could be an astrologer? Then in Bhrigu Sutram, I think Mercury in the first house is astrologer. Okay. Sometimes based on stars, some professions are given. But I think in this case, what you are asking is there a direct combination for becoming an astrologer, right? In BPHS, no such hint has been given. Only in Bhrigu Sutram we find it. So I can take it like there is a teacher, a very a knowledgeable person, a man of wisdom, doing research and publishing books. It could have been in any field. Tomorrow you would come up with a similar horoscope. He is doing something in a different way. Again, the bottom line would be the same. It need not be only astrology. Maybe they could be psychologists. They could help people. What about his work as meditation expert, right? A teacher. You must have initiated a lot of people. Yes. Yes. Somebody said something.
Guruji, 10th and 8th connection is also seen with like research or even like detectives, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is almost detective work, digging. 8th house is actually digging, going deep, spiritual. Some people would have gone into straight spiritual path. Okay. So please.
Even Secret Service has seen a chart, Guruji, where the person was in a Secret Service.
Yeah. All this spy business, all this spy business is 8th house only. There is high risk in it, danger. Correct.
Guruji, he has one connection. I think we all miss it, and I have seen it in many astrologers and many scholars. Not necessarily Jyotisha, any Vedanga, any kind of.
Okay, any Shastra.
When when the Atma Karaka is related to in the 11th house, the soul is connected to tradition, and he has it. His Atma Karaka is related to 11th house.
Oh.
So did you notice about this?
Wait. We'll record that.
Parivartana? Is he talking about the Sukshma Parivartana?
No. Wait a minute. Can you show the chart again?
Atma Karaka, his Atma Karaka is moon, I think, and the 11th house is moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so when the
Atma Karaka, okay.
Yeah, connected to the 11th house, especially in 9th house or 12th house, the soul is connected to the tradition. So it's not necessarily Jyotisha, can be any other Vedanga.
Okay. Anything spiritual origin, okay. Because this
exactly what I have.
Yeah, astrology is given by the Maharishis. Astrology is given by Maharishis, right? So astrologers could be very close to philosophers, and yogis and those kind of people also.
And sir, what's your Atma Karaka? Jupiter?
Mine? No, Mercury.
Actually, Mark Boniji has written an article on this Nakshatra Parivartana, and here we see Moon and Venus exchanging their, in each other's nakshatras, which means the mind is thinking about the divine and occult, because Venus being the Asura Guru, and Venus occupying Moon's energy. So that could also be the reason why he is into that occult science or divine science. That too in a big way. It's not a small thing. So nowadays, I see many people in astrology, but to reach that height, that sort of a powerful chart, we need to see we need to pick up all the clues, all the strands, like a detective.
Exactly.
Also, Guruji, in B pitches there is a yoga in which Parashara says Kalaknya, which is translated to astrologer. It's Matsya Yoga.
Matsya Yoga. Oh, yeah. Correct. There is a line, right? Sorry. Yes. I was talking about combinations. Okay. This yoga.
Which page is it, Gautam?
Yeah, it is there. As astrologer. Kalagnya something. Yeah. Interesting. Matsya Yoga. Benefics in 9th house and Lagna. Oh, in Lagna also at the same time. 5th house occupied by a mix of planets, and the 4th and 8th be occupied by malefics. He's got 8th house malefics.
This rule is not fully getting
fully getting fulfilled. That's okay. Yeah. Anyway, Gautam has been making slides like this for my future classes. So he's on a spree with yogas. Okay.
And he also tells me that this yoga is good, that yoga is good, and all that. Okay. But Kalagnya is different from Daivagnya.
Yeah, it's okay. Something very close to that. But you see, the key here is the 5 and 9, right? 5 and 9, at least. Because I think 5 and 9 is also, the farsightedness, the ability to predict. The ability to not only predict through astrology, you could be good at predicting anything. And so look at the authors. The authors are actually predicting. Have you seen fiction? 30 years back, you might have read a fiction book, and whatever is there, it would come now. It's always, authors are able to see things before the events. So authorship, creativity, 5th house, mantra siddhi, everything. 5 and 9. If the 5th lord is in the 9, the person will be a great author, the Maharshi has said, and also it's one of the Rajayogas. So what about 9th lord in the 5th? The reverse of it. 9th lord in the 5th, generally learned. So again, 5-9 is one of the things I saw, but even Matsya Yoga is pointing out to that. But the strange thing is that planets occupying the 8th house by malefics. This one point we'll have to remember. I think most of astrologers people who become astrologers, they usually become because they went through some trouble, and they started looking at life from a different point of view. And they themselves want to know why it happened, and they study astrology, and in the process become an astrologer. For me, it was like that. I wanted to know why certain things were happening at a particular point in time, and it happened. Mardini, my Mercury is in my 1st house, and it is exalted in Navamsha. It is the Atma Karaka.
I have no doubt, sir. Definitely. Great scholar like you will have this connection.
And I'll tell you a very strange thing about myself. It's to prove how the background, if you have a good chart with us for a particular activity, you are a natural at it. just to prove that I'm telling you this, not for any other purpose. I buy the book today, the first book on Vedic astrology. My first book, Hindu Predictive Astrology by Dr. B.V. Raman. This Mark Bonis. And within a week, I was able to do the entire horoscope of all the horoscopes of my family. My father, mother, brother, sister, everybody's horoscope. Rashi, Navamsha, Bhava, Dasha, Antardasha, Ashtaka Varga, everything I finished in 1 week. From the time I got the first book. So it came so naturally. But only later I found out there were reasons for it. But my investigation started only because I was in trouble. Okay. So the details have been revealed here. Mark Boni, born on, you can't see,
Guruji,
18/4/1951. Okay.
Guruji, after looking at the black chart, this is like, the full evergreen, fully blossoming chart with all colors.
Yeah. Anyway, it's okay. Different formats, the same thing. Interesting. Can we see how many points Jupiter got in its Ashtaka Varga? Binashtaka Varga?
I think he must have...
In its Ashtaka Varga.
Yeah, it should be at least 7 or 8.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm just guessing. Could it be? It's only 3, is it? Okay.
But to the 5th house of authorship and all, it's 7.
Oh, we should look at it like that also. Okay. Jupiter, in Jupiter's Ashtavarga, you got a 5. Okay. In the 5th house, a high 7, right? Okay. Buddha? Buddha 4. Okay. Then Sun. Sun 4. Okay. Anything different? Venus 3. Okay. We didn't get some big clues here. Okay.
Can I have a look at the Saturn, please?
Wait a minute. Vimshopaka for 16 charts, highest is Jupiter. Highest is Jupiter in Vimshopaka. So Jupiter is what made him the astrologer, right?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, I think it's time enough. We have to go. I thank all the students for participating. Bye.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, thank you.
Hari Om, Guruji. Good night.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you so much, Guruji. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Gautam.
Thank you, Kishore.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you to everyone. So we'll catch up maybe tomorrow. Let's see, or Sunday night, Sunday 8 p.m. One of these, we'll have one more session. If anybody
think people were mentioning Saturday being convenient for them, Guruji, from the US.
Saturday is more convenient, yeah. But I don't know. I have some event to attend in my apartment. Somebody is, some function is there. I'll see how I can manage. In case it is there, I'll anyway set up a link and maybe I can join a little later. Okay, I'll generate a link and send it. 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, Guruji.
We'll see how we can use it. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Sridevi, you just sent a message to Soumya. Sorry, we had to...
Yes. I did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Niranjan, if you wait a little longer, slowly these doubts will fade away. Okay, you will, astrology is like that. It's not so easy, you have to be a little flexible and think on either side. Like when we started saying, the Lagna Lord itself is the 8th, so something very, weakness in health and so on. Of course, he had some health problem, but somebody spoke about short life, then we reversed it. Then somebody said 8th Lord in the 8th is a Viparita Raja Yoga. So we went back and forth, right? That's how astrology is. And I want to tell you why. It's because life itself is like that. We are not the same thing at all the time. We are also, sometimes we can have this experience and that experience. And those things explain the contradictions also. Okay?
Okay, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You just wait there and be patient with it. You will get the answers automatically. The clarity will come after that. You will not ask, you will know for yourself. Oh, this is how I have to use it. Okay.
Okay, Guruji.
Yeah.
One thing is for sure that whenever we see a rishi saying something, then we have to stick to it. Like how Guruji said.
Because at least it will give us some, because we are playing with variables and you got to take a stance. You got to fix some parameters. If you loosen up all the, here, there, if you keep changing the parameter, you won't know why something is not happening. Because there are multiple factors involved. Right? Some games are not so many factors. Some activities are not so many factors, but astrology is definitely many factors. There are some games which is very complicated like this, but if you play those games, you'll know you have to hold this, you have to have that. Like if you want to say tennis, you want to play, what are the qualities you should have? You should be very fast, you should be very quick with your eyes, you should know how to calculate where after the ball hits here, where will the ball go. So many things at one time. That's why only few people can play games like that. But some activities are not like that. Everybody can become doctor. Everybody can become engineer. But some other subfields are too many variables. When you have too many variables, it takes time to understand.
Guruji, it's like simultaneous equations. We don't have the exact number of equations to solve the variables.
Yeah.
What is confusing, Guruji, is just to scare Niranjan Kumar in a very humorous way, is that when you read Venus in the 7th, then which type of Venus and which 7th are we talking about?
Yeah.
It makes a whole lot of a difference. Is
Yeah.
it debilitated Venus in the 7th, old Rashi Venus in the 7th?
Debilitated Venus in the 7th is Karaka Bhavanashya, and afflicted Venus in the 7th is also Karaka Bhavanashya.
Yeah.
Whereas well-placed 7th house Venus is very good, actually. I mean, the 7th itself, it's very good. Happy marriage. Yeah. So
this in this context, I think I made a mistake today when I said this Jupiter in the 7th is not good for marriage. Do I stand corrected, Guruji, or is that statement actually partially valid?
It's not correct, because maybe it can swing on either side if you start going into other aspects of the chart. So if you spend more time with the other aspects, in this case, he was unmarried not just because 12th Lord is in the 8th. It is because the Lord of Navamsha, Lagna Lord and 7th Lord both together went into the 6th house. That's why the marriage didn't happen. Okay.
But this statement of Jupiter in the 7th, not good for marriage, was that actually wrong? I mean, or was that like the trick about Venus in the 7th?
Yeah, it is. It is like that. Correct. You're right. Because I have to give weightage to the fact that Saturn, the Lord of the 6th, got connected to the 7th and the 7th Lord. So there is a point there.
That Saturn's drishti was there.
Saturn's drishti was there. But what is the confusing part there is, if you read point blank the classical textbook, 7th Lord in the 7th, happy marriage, you should first say that there's a happy marriage. So how to balance this? Maybe he's not married, but with the person with whom he is, he's happy. Something like that. So it will work on both sides.
Okay. Saturn being 5th and 6th, yeah.
Yeah. Well, somebody is saying something.
That is the confusion.
Now, what happened here is, we have to give importance to the 12th Lord, not in Kendra, and 12th Lord in 8th. I have so many, unfortunate people that at least here he's not interested in marriage. Whereas I have met people who are interested in marriage and having 12th Lord in the 8th, till now no marriage. That's the worst part. The worst side of the 12th Lord in the 8th. And whenever they ask me, when will I get married? I keep quiet. I don't know what to say. You see that? It's such a,
Is that you're talking about really bad 12th Lord in the 8th, or is it like even in this case exalted 12th Lord?
No, it will be afflicted in a certain way. Okay, but I feel the mere presence of the 12th Lord in the 8th itself is a problem, or 12th Lord in the 12th is a problem. 12th Lord in the 12th, 12th Lord in the 8th is, according to me, you have to give a slightly extra weightage to marriage. There is no marriage.
Okay, but then this being in that benefic hemming, then the relationship was there.
Yeah, that's what he's not having an unhappy relationship. He just didn't get married for some reason. The some reason is only the horoscope didn't permit. And
but he himself admits that.
What about 12th Lord and 3rd, Guruji?
12th Lord in 3rd was, I know, in my research it didn't show up. In my research, and not research, my practical readings for this 30 years, 12th Lord in the 8th, 12th Lord in the 12th was one of the biggest contributors of no marriage.
Sir, I have 12th Lord in 12th, sir, but it's in own house. Sir.
Yeah. Maybe if wait, I'm hearing my own voice. Did it go away now?
Yes, it's good now.
It's good now. See, what you asked was, when you said Jupiter in the 7th separately, how many types of Jupiter in the 7th you can have? You can have even a debilitated Jupiter in the 7th, exalted, own house, everything. But the correct way of understanding it is not a natural malefic for us to be, perturbed. So you'll say, most probably the marriage should be good only. Okay? The quality of the marriage should be good. But some Tamil books and some Tamil authors did say that Jupiter in the 7th is bad for marriage. And sometimes I feel it might be because some other factors helped that Jupiter to be spoiled. Maybe it's only like that. And whereas if you look at Bhrigu Jupiter in the 7th is highly educated, right?
Yes,
good education and so on. So and if it is for the marriage quality, if you're looking, he says his wife will be learned, chaste, and devoted to husband. Okay, so but the thing is, first, without knowing whether they're going to get married or not, you can't talk about marriage. In this case, after seeing Navamsha, if I had this chart in my actual reading, in my consultation, I would definitely say no to he will not get married, I'll say. Because whenever I see any 6 and 7 connection in any format, especially in this case, it is on 1-7 itself. It is on 1-7 axis itself. The situation is on the 1-7, that 6th and 7th Lord are looking at each other. But you argue 5th Lord also, then I'll say maybe that 5th Lord helped him become an astrologer. Because 5 and 9 authorship, and by name and fame, Jupiter, known for his Jupiter, known by Jupiter, and he meets his guru in Jupiter Dasha. So you can read both sides, but if you look at it only from marriage point of view, this is the truth. Yeah, you check, you get horoscopes of 60-year-old or 70-year-old unmarried people. You will see how many times you will get this kind of same patterns appearing again and again.
Okay. So that could be in the case of Gemini Lagna, when Mars is in Gemini and Jupiter is in the 7th. Then the aspect of 6th on the 7th would be even worse than this aspect, right? Because Mars would be in enemy sign, Mars being the 6th Lord for Gemini and aspecting Jupiter in Dhanush.
Yeah.
That would be like probably a violent marriage or no marriage, I guess.
No,
there could be issues with marriage.
That's what the correct way is to first generally, in a synopsis level, a helicopter view, you have to first find out certain things in the chart and keep that in mind. So how we could have actually followed up was Jupiter, the wise, is sitting so well placed in the, like that. And it's, I think, PK, right? What is PK?
Putrakaraka.
It's a 5. You see that?
Fifth house matters.
Yeah, fifth house matters. So you can add like this. Once you get a basic clue here, I would look at Lagna Lord in the 8th as only something very strange, something ancient, something occult. So then the 10th Lord in the 8th, all of that I'll start piling it up on occult only. It takes some time to, sync. But if you have very short time, it's very difficult. If you're not prepared for the consultation, right? You will miss certain points. So 9th Lord in the 9th. So everything, you have to look.
And how do you determine,
Guruji,
how do you determine who is stronger, whose aspects are going to work? Jupiter's aspect on Saturn or Saturn's aspect on Jupiter? How would we define that? Because I feel that this Bhava Madhya Jupiter is more stronger being in own sign and in Bhava Madhya compared to Saturn. So isn't there a conflict of ideas?
No, Kishorji, even if you come to an answer, if you get the answer also, it won't be the final word, because sometimes the Jupiter aspect on Saturn may not work in certain periods. Like I think Gautam said, an upset happened in Saturn Mercury, right? In Saturn Dasha, Mercury, Antardasha only something about his job.
Yes, Guruji.
Correct.
He lost his job.
He's lost his. That is a dream job or something that he actually achieved his everything that he had to until then. So that time Jupiter's aspect on Saturn failed. You know why? That Saturn is a ruler. Saturn is a ruler. When Saturn is a ruler, you just think about like human beings. Somebody is ruler, people cannot control them. So that time Jupiter's aspect won't work. But when not in rule, maybe Saturn can be subdued by Jupiter.
Okay,
but anyway,
so the emphasis is on Dasha, right? To enable the planet to give more power.
Yeah. Because once I always thought about it, in my classes, I used to say, think of planets as human beings. Without asking anybody, you can figure it out yourself. I'll think, just imagine a policeman not yet retired, on duty. Retired. Nobody even bothers about that man. An IPS officer I know is sitting simply in his house now. All those people who are going around him continuously, they've just disappeared. So when not in ruling, you are different. When you are ruling, it is different. Then you want to say, like Jupiter is looking at Saturn, which is more powerful. You cannot conclude. Even if you conclude, it won't matter. It will not.
Somebody is talking.
No, that is Gautam's,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Soumya is back. Soumya, don't worry about it.
Sorry, Guruji. Really sorry.
No, the best point was I muted you continuously, and then it was unmuted, and then the discussions came.
Muted myself. Yeah, I muted it. So I don't know. Maybe the button was pressing under a book or something.
Yeah, something repeatedly opening up, and I kept, and finally I told somebody to send you a message. Okay.
Sorry, Guruji. Yeah, I had a team because it's a working day right now, so I just had a 30-minute team meeting. That's all.
Okay.
So sorry.
Sometimes when we click on the space bar, it would automatically get unmuted.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, maybe something like that was happening because I did mute it.
Okay.
But I don't know why it kept getting unmuted. So
okay. Anyway, we had a nice discussion and a lot of points came.
We missed the Raja Yoga and this Jaimini Raja Yoga, Guruji. The AK aspecting the AMK. We missed that point.
AK is moon aspecting
Amatya Karaka. Mercury.
Amatya Karaka. Okay. AKM, AM. Okay. Atma Karaka, Amatya Karaka connections, right? Okay.
Rashi aspects.
Are there Rajayogas between 5 and 7, DK and PK?
Yes, Guruji.
There
and
is
also
one, right?
additionally, Saturn is a fifth lord, which in Jaimini is also a Raja Yoga Karaka.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Just the fifth lord itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah, he Mark Boni created a table in one of his books, right? The short table for reference. Maybe one day we'll.
One thing
I
about
have it in my hand.
Yeah, one thing about Mark Boniji is that he sticks to his statements, whatever he says.
Yeah.
He doesn't waver even when he asks doubts and all that. He says maybe, but then then he goes back to his statements. Also,
You
Guruji,
see,
have you dabbled with Pulipani?
No, I didn't. 1 minute. When you do a slide like this, Gautam, you'll have to write his name, taken from Mark Boni's. Mark
This was
Boni's.
not complete. That's right. Yeah.
When you complete it, you just always credit him whenever you take anything straight from his book. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What was somebody saying? I got interrupted.
No, I was asking if you have read Pulipani's astrology sutras.
No, I didn't.
He's a disciple of Bogar.
Yeah, I know.
A disciple of Agastya.
Yeah, we had a lot of translations appearing in Astrological Magazine. But actually, I want to tell all of you that there are some Tamil books that are really remarkable, and I would say that it's just bad luck that these people aren't doing work and translating it into English books. So a lot of things are missing. When I was a beginner in astrology, I had a Tamil book. I don't remember the name of the book. There was a formula to find the length of lifespan. I tested it, and it was exact to the year and month for at least 10 people. So I got scared, and after that I just kept the book away and never opened it again. After that, I don't know where the book went. So there are things like this. Sometimes we feel that Sanskrit is so superior and Tamil is not, but you find that Tamil sometimes has a lot of simple ideas, a lot of them. But this Pulipani's book, where did you see?
I've been doing a research for the last 3-4 days, and one of my South Indian friends had visited and stayed in my place. Even Gautam was also a part of the research, and we found a lot of good things seen in the chart, working in the charts, and especially with most of the charts that we had seen, Pulipani's aphorisms have come true actually. So it was actually striking, and especially, and it was a coincidence, synchronicity, that we were looking at some charts, and at that time that sutra comes in the page, and immediately we are able to see that in the chart. And then we were goosebumps. We had goosebumps, especially with, I think, Marilyn Monroe and 2 other charts. Ivar Tolef's Caitlyn Jenner. You remember, Guruji, that transformation?
Yeah. Was it more about Dasha and Antardasha, or is it more on the reading side?
Reading and Dasha, everything is connected.
Both.
But we saw only the static part. I was not much interested in the Dasha part. Because static itself was making my head go round. But it was really nice.
We should actually spend more time with the static only, because as Gautam also pointed out now, first we have to find out what, and only then when, right?
Yes.
So there's no point. And even if you get the what right, and if you make a mistake on Dasha and Antardasha, when some other time it happens, at least at that point, whoever received that message will know maybe they made a mistake in Dasha and Antardasha, but they got the substance of it. I'll tell you the classical example is when B.V. Raman read the horoscope of somebody, I think a young boy. He said his life, when he's calculating longevity, he said Saturn Rahu will prove dangerous to this boy, like that. lifespan will get affected in Saturn Rahu. But the boy died in Rahu Saturn. Even if the prediction is wrong, you have to give credit to ascertaining the dasha and antardasha. Okay. So there are so many things like this. So that's why when some students today were trying something and they were, even if they made a mistake, I said we could first start off by generalizing it and then zooming in so that you have an idea that this could be, something. And from there only we made a mistake. So go back to the generalization. You will at least get a satisfaction that you came very close to the right answer.
Especially Mr. Pulipani being in Tamil, it has not yet been properly pushed into the limelight. But if time permits in the future, me and Gautam can do some presentation with Pulipani's rules.
Yeah,
and
you
we
take
could
up
first
four, five things, and then 4, 5 important ideas, and then create some charts to support it, and it will sync.
Yes,
we can remember it. Yeah.
The universe presents it actually. When we read it, it's presenting it automatically.
Okay.
So you've heard of it, right, Guruji? Guruji, you're on mute. This is the one.
What?
Pulipani, right?
This is different, I think. But I mean, for this one, the script and language are unknown till date. But all we can see is this chart.
Mori Perchi. Mori Chuvadi. Oh my God.
Muliaria Chuvadi.
Okay.
It just means the language is not known.
Oh,
yeah, this one.
Oh, Moriaria Chuvadi. Okay, I can't know what is this language. Okay, it's written at the bottom. I didn't even see that. Script and language are unknown till date. Oh my God. What could this be?
Kishorji?
Guruji, you can see the chart here. See.
What?
South Indian chart here.
You need to rotate the image, Gautam. This is upside down, I think.
No. This is the right way.
No, the palm leaf is upside down, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, the palm leaf is upside down. Now this is correct. Can you zoom in into that chart? See what language is used. Oh my God. No.
Even the professionals can't decipher what the language is. So.
Oh.
But anyway, it's a night chart. That's my conclusion.
What is it?
Because the cluster of planets were in. I mean, if it was other way around.
It is in Aries. It is in Aries. A cluster of planets in Aries.
Aries, but Lagna seems to be Kumbha.
Yeah.
There are glyphs for planets, but I don't know what they are. Guruji must be aware because in those days the old books were written with glyphs actually instead of words.
Yeah, my horoscope is written in leaves like this, but in Malayalam. Yeah.
Oh.
I have it here. Yeah.
This language is difficult, Gautam. We don't even know what script it is.
Yeah.
The best part about this is it will survive long time, unlike paper. So I have mine intact, as good as it was, 60 years back.
Well, now I have just a question. How can we decide the orientation of the manuscript, which is Aries? How did we come to the conclusion that it's inverted?
I think Kishorji assumed based on the direction of the Lagna.
No, that line, the way the line was drawn, I thought this is the way to draw the line, And I think actually you're right.
Yeah, very difficult.
Yeah, it's
difficult. It could have been the other way around also.
Yeah.
Anyway,
why I'm saying is because in these Nadi readings, the Lagna chart will be in the left and the reading will be in the right.
Oh.
The statement would be in the right. So probably there's some correction that we need to do here. And when you're talking about this Tamil being difficult to read, Guruji, the book that we did along with Pulipani was actually even so difficult for the regular Tamil readers.
Oh.
And they struggled with it. I mean, I think somebody was reading, here it is. Gautam, can I share the screen?
Yes.
Just 1 second. If you want to see the actual thing, Guruji, I'll show it to you. The Pulipani screen. This is that manuscript. Sorry, this is not Pulipani. This is the other book I'm talking about.
Saptarishi.
Saptarishi's book, yeah. I think, can you see this palm leaf project?
Yeah, I can. Oh, how did they write so small?
No, the photograph is small. Let me make it big.
Usually leaves are themselves only this size only.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. It won't be big.
And this is the Tamil verse. I don't know if somebody can read this. Someone was reading Tamil before.
Maranum Senik Kalam Mandalai Mundram Padam Aralin Disai Mundrandum 3 years something Adinudan Tingal Andum Di Tiramai Natkal Pattum Seppinom Purvapadam. I have told you like that. He's telling something, but how did they calculate Mridashira from where? Maranum Seni Kunkalamam. Wonderful language, Tamil actually. Not mentioned the third quarter.
Actually, in this book, there are 7 rishis who sit and discuss like in a Pattimandram, you know.
Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and when they discuss the chart, for example, so if they give this chart and they will tell us to predict the marital status, the putra, bhagya, and about the wealth of the native, the profession of the native, and each rishi gives a statement and the other rishi will counter it. And he will say, no, it could be this. And then he says, no, it is this. It's because of this that such a thing event happens.
Yeah. It was usually a debate only.
Yeah, debate. And the head of the debate was Parvati Devi.
Sometimes Lord Shiva.
In this book, it is Parvati Devi. In some books, it is Lord Shiva. Yeah. This is actually for Aries ascendant charts. This is the only book that has come out in English. All the other lagnas are in Tamil. So this Tamil verse was very difficult for them to read. This part. All this is so difficult.
No.
So we are trying to actually decode the chart based on the translation. And we are trying to fix the pattern of logical reasoning behind this based on what we have at the moment, like Brigu, Sutram, Brigu, Brigat Jatak, and BPHS. Going from BPHS to Brigu Sutram to Brigat Jatak. And then looking at other translations, other books. So most of them, they give a clue, but then in these charts, there are some strange things that are actually being used. So once we get hold of those things, we see it applicable in modern day charts, then I'll first, me and Gautam will first share it with you. And if we deem fit, then we can proceed with. Strange, but it's mind-boggling and magical also, you know, because they explain, the rishis are told to explain why they came up with a statement. Parvati ji asked them, and they each give their own logical thinking. But one thing is for sure, that each rishi follows his own path. Like, for example, here it's mentioned sage Jayamuni, which is actually Jaimini, what we call right now as Jaimini. The actual name is Jayamuni.
Oh, okay.
So this is how we are doing backward pattern recognition.
Oh.
Completely in Sentamil.
Yeah, anybody can read this? It's difficult.
Two ways.
வயதுமே தீர்க்கம் என்றும் அம்பிகை கேட்கலுற்றாள் செயமுனி சொன்னீரே நீர் செம்பாம்பு ஏழில் நிற்க தயவிலா தாரம் ரெண்டு தங்கிடு.
Oh, two will survive. Okay.
Yeah. When you read it, it's easy for us to understand. But to read it is difficult, right?
வியமில்லை தாரம் ஒன்றே விளிம்பினோம் கேளுமம்மா எப்படி சொன்னீரையா ஏழிரண்டித்தோன் வெள்ளி மெய்ப்புடன் நேழி இழலாட்சி மெய்ப்புடன் நேழில் லாட்சி வீற்றதால் மனைவி ஒன்றே செப்புவோ மிதற்கு நேராய் சாதக சுரிதிலேதான் ஒப்புடனே it's difficult.
இதே கஷ்டம் தான் நாங்களும் பட்டோம். This is the difficulty.
It's difficult to read it, but it's easy to understand.
Yeah. When he reads it, it's easy to understand. Velli stands for Venus, I think.
Yeah, Velli is Venus, correct.
And English translation is what we were referring to most of the time. So this is the reasoning that Jayamuni gave.
Okay, then do one thing, Kishorji. Every Sunday, 8 o'clock, we'll always have, for the next so many weeks, we'll have only this.
You find it interesting, Guruji?
Yeah. I love it.
It's going to be so addictive, Guruji.
Yeah, it's okay. So what? It's
Guruji, this part of our video will be edited, right? Because I'm sharing the screen and all that. So
I can cut it off.
The reason is because I wanted to share this with you while we are in Zoom.
Okay.
There's another thing that actually is very what do you call revolutionary in this that came out as a revelation. So I will first discuss with Gautam and see if it is repeating again and again, and then we'll take it, because it's something that's not explored actually. For example, the timing of events, marriage, father's death, mother's death, and Jataka's death. So they have some algorithm which they are not mentioning. Now, what I thought is that this was like a meeting of the sages, the scientists, the rishis. And while they were speaking, somebody was writing it down as what we call in modern day as the minutes of the meeting, right?
Meeting, okay.
So the minutes were written, but how they got the technical things, that was not written. That was difficult. And only in some places they're talking about perils. In some of the charts, like chart number 7, 8, they say peril.
Without degrees and minutes, nothing. No divisional chart.
Nothing. No, but they do mention Ashtakvarga. They do mention that because they say pearl in the pearl of in the Ashtakvarga of Venus, there has only one pearl. So this person will have only one wife. So that goes to show those days they had Ashtakvarga. They had those mind-boggling calculations. We don't know what ancient civilization and other things we did. We are going to talk to you in private about this. So me and Gautam were doing some fancy stuff with this. And Gautam, please explain to Guruji when you meet him in person about our things. Okay?
I'll take it up.
Yeah, you can, because he meets you, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah. This portion I'll cut it off, okay, during the recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice session. Somehow it happened.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay.
10 people.
10.
That is okay. Soumya is an astrologer, Kishore is an astrologer, Niranjan is future astrologer, Vil Murugan is astrologer, Sri Devi, everybody is astrologer. That's right.
Nice.
Kishorji, is there a published copy of Pulipani Sutrams?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Are you a Tamil native person, Niranjan?
Yes.
And then you have a lot of ascendants of, in English only one ascendant is there, but you can refer to the other ascendants. Oh, wow.
Okay, sure.
What is this?
Anyone can guess the age or how old is this text?
That is one research we did, Guruji, with those charts. We figured out the age.
I am more interested in how did they write such small fonts.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They had something.
Check out this one.
They had calligraphy. Oh my goodness!
It is impossible to write it like this. If you have a sharp instrument and if you run on it, Your hand won't turn at all. You try it and see. It won't turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't make it turn. It will go straight like that, one line.
Mm.
So how do they do this? Such a
What Tamil
beautiful
is this?
hand.
What Tamil is this?
I don't know. Okay, somebody guess the age first.
Maybe around 7,000 years old.
Less than 1,200 years.
Or no.
1,200.
Less than 1,200 because this is Tamil Vattelithu. This came only during Rajaraja's period and after Kalapura's period.
Oh. So how many years then?
It was written in that it was 500 BC, so it's around 2,500 years old.
See, when they write that, the content might be that old. Need not be the leaf itself is that old.
I mean, not inside this text, outside the archaeologist.
Oh.
There will be a description of what it is. In that, it was written in around 500 BC or something. It not inside the actual text.
When
That
you
means
look at
2,500.
See, when you look at Gautam, when you look at eternity, such times will be like a spot. It will be like a dot on eternity.
Yes.
It is not at all big.
Mm.
Even if you say 1 million years, it won't be big.
Mm.
Because time has got no starting and ending, right? So from far off, if you look, it will be like, oh, just 5,000 years old. Only that many. It will be like that.
True.
Yeah. Okay, we'll catch up.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah. Nice, and thank you.
It's been almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah. That's how our sessions go. Oh, Chaitanya Prabhu is still staying. Oh, she's left. Okay. Bye.
Good night, Guruji.
Night, Guru.